The world of Banya cracks in anticipation of the approaching storm. Its lands strain against unnatural forces, and warnings of what is to come have been carefully placed among its people. Warnings that led us to a few tieflings, Goliaths, drow, and halflings. But how can this unlikely family of broken people stop a force that has been generations in the making? What strength is left in the bonds of friendship? Hello, friends! Welcome to Goats and Dragons, the podcast where Helpful Goat Gaming plays Dungeons and Dragons. In a moment, I'm going to introduce the players, and we're all going to do pronouns. And I'll start. My name is Andrew Gilbert with he, him, his, and I am the DM for this evening. Next, we have Galway playing the Tiefling Sorcerer Charity.
Hey everybody, I'm Galway. My pronoun, I use he, him, his pronouns, as does Charity.
We have Lena playing the Goliath Barbarian Stormbringer.
Hi, I'm she, her, and so is Stormbringer.
We have Adam playing the Halfling Rogue Burbage Kemp.
Hey everybody, my pronouns are he, him, his, and Burbage's pronouns are also he, him, his.
Our guest for a few months, Rachel playing the Gnomish Artificer Clem.
Hi, I'm Rachel, she, her, hers, and I play Clem, she, her, hers.
And Darcy playing the Tiefling Cleric Hakari.
Hello, my pronouns are they, them, theirs, and Hakari's are she, her, hers, and I wish I was Snow Mountain Baller, then I'd be taller. Wish when I was with her, I'd feel so much smaller. Wish I had a mimic in a hat, that'd be fat. Lorraine, I would call her.
Beautiful.
Very good, very good. Should somebody read Chelsea's poem in the chat?
Yes, please, someone. I don't have it open.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I don't know if this has ever made it into the podcast yet for Fates of Ryn, but in case it hasn't, our great fan and member of the Helpful Goat community, Chelsea, in the Twitch chat always posts a poem kind of letting us know that we can be seen and heard, and that there aren't any massive technical difficulties. And tonight she has written, "Hooray, the family finally got to rest. Y'all seriously are the best. Stormbringer, the heart with her inspiring strength and passionate care. Hakari, the flame with her glorious parodies and infinite flair. Burbage, the wit with his heroic spirit and lucky roll. Charity, the wisdom with his boundless courage and powerful soul. Clem, the charisma with her delightful quirks and personality galore. Each one of these characters we have come to adore. For the last time this year, after all the craziness we've been through, Fates of Ryn crew, I'm honored to say I can see and hear you." Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you, Chelsea.
That's great.
Chelsea, you're the best. Oh, God. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's the end of the year. We're all tired and exhausted from holidays and
Thank
from
God.
relative drama, which I won't even get into how crazy
No.
that is for stuff and people. But yeah, it's playing a game like this is a way for us to connect as friends and a way for us to kind of recharge our batteries at times. But again, please be with us if it takes us a bit to get into it because we are a little tired. Um, yeah, and so just a few kind of general announcements. Galway, would you mind real quick reminding us the exclamation point donate command in chat, and where does that leave us?
Yeah, I totally
Lead
wasn't
us?
typing a message and only halfway paying attention. Donate
Yeah,
command.
my bad,
You
my
can
bad.
use the exclamation point donate command in chat. We use it to highlight different charities, different organizations, different movements that are important to us as individuals, to Helpful Goat as a community, etc. And right now, what we are highlighting, largely for the month of December, so probably next time you see us, there'll be a different link in there, is a national organization for housing assistance. In North America right now, it is wintertime, and as hard as COVID-19 has been for everybody, and as hard as 2020 has been for everybody, I can assure you it is a lot worse for those without stable or any housing. The threats of COVID are far more serious for people without stable housing. And it's winter. It's snowing outside my window right now. This is not a good time to be sitting outside. Especially if you don't then have some place to go back in and warm up. So we strongly encourage you. You can reach out to that organization, learn more. We also strongly encourage you to look for a local organization in Colorado, where most of the Fates of Ryn crew is based. We have the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, who do a lot of great work. And we encourage you to look for housing first organizations because they are demonstrably more effective. They frankly just do a better job of helping people and have a bigger impact on their communities. But yeah, national organizations like this can be a great way to try to find local organizations. And yeah, so if you have the time, the money, the resources, the energy levels, reach out to one of those organizations and see what you can do. Obviously, donations of money are always appreciated, but such organizations are also usually looking for community partners. Your business may be able to help, resources, just volunteers, etc. So there's a lot you can do.
Awesome. Thanks, Galway. Appreciate that. And if you want to throw a bit of spare change our way to help us keep doing what we're doing and growing as a channel and as a community, you can type in exclamation point KO-FI Ko-Fi coffee and give a couple bucks and just directly to us. And of course, we're affiliate on Twitch, which means you can cheer and subscribe to us. And anyone who has Amazon Prime, you can cheer and you can subscribe for free through that. Just as a reminder, our you can capture all of our adventures in podcast form by going to Goats and Dragons or Helpful Goat Gaming Presents. Either one of those podcasts will link you to some of our games. Different games. Goats and Dragons is kind of the Fates of Ryn and the Banya series of campaign one shot things. And Helpful Goat Gaming Presents is a little bit more of like one shots. And right now we're working on Galway's kind of interwoven campaign. I say that because there's several smaller sort of campaigns all kind of wrapped into a similar world called Tier, and that's awesome. And Galway runs those games. You can catch those in Helpful Goat Gaming Presents. We also played with Dominic Monaghan, and you can find that in Goats and Dragons under Dom and Dragons, which is awesome and fun as well. And yeah, and Rachel's been playing with us for a little bit now, and Rachel had some art done of their character, which is delightful. And Rachel, would you say a little bit more about that? And perhaps we should.
Yeah. If Galway puts it up on screen, I'm
It is
behind, so
showing.
I can't see. There we go. So that is the lovely Clem as done by the absolutely amazing artist Ashley Stoddard. She is a dear friend of mine, and she's also just an amazing artist. And she's worked on a lot of games and is now working on a TV show because she's amazing. And yeah, so she did that, and she's super professional. She gave me two completely different versions of the descriptions I'd given to her, and she like helped me pick through what I liked best and what I didn't and combined them in the most perfect and magical way, and she's amazing. And her Instagram is astoddy, ASTODDY, and she also has a website which is just ashleystoddard.com. And you should really check her out because she is amazing and fantastic, and she does great work, and she's nice, and I love her.
Beautiful. Excellent. And any more announcements? Anything else going on? Type !Discord if you'd like a link to join our Discord. Where honestly we've been watching just holiday movies and playing games with each other, and to not let the stress of them get to us too hardcore. And if you want in on that, !Discord in the chat.
Did he keep like?
I think that's
Were the mouth was the mouth moving all the way through? Okay, because I had looked away and I just came back. You might be cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah, your mic cut out a little bit
no.
there with what you were saying.
Right
I think most of the content got through. It's just when you start launching into epic descriptions, maybe occasionally keep an eye up to see if like my hand is raised or if I look panicked.
We'll try
One of those two things will indicate something has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, let me know if I need to. Yep.
I'll poke you if he
Poke me. Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you. All right. Then I think we are ready to jump into tonight's episode of Goats and Dragons Fates of Ryn. Yeah. So last time on the Fates of Ryn, the family set up an ambush for the giants that had taken two members of Stormbringer's past. During the fight, Charity unveiled a new spell, the Family's Flame, and one of the giants, when she fought, would spout nonsense about dreams. It seems like the captors were bait for Stormbringer herself, but the group made short work of them, even in their exhausted and fragile state. When one of the giants then held Dawn Protector over the edge of the sheer cliff, he was killed and let her slip over the edge. Hikari and Stormbringer had rushed to the edge, and Clem had caught her with a Featherfall spell. Then Charity, in angel form, leapt over the edge of the cliff and brought her back up to rest safely in front of Stormbringer. The resulting meeting, after months of Stormbringer's exile from the Goliaths, was tense. As Dawn Protector regained her faculties, she let slip something about Stormbringer rejecting Goliath ways. The two carried on in uneasy silence, an odd mention of Stormbringer being like a pet that hasn't been eaten, which is... But you did find eventually a suitable campsite to hide from any of the prying eyes of giants that might be trying to follow you. The family took a much needed rest, and Dawn Protector and Mountain Splitter kept watch over their rescuers. And now, Hikari, you are woken by Mountain Splitter, whom you almost barely recognize in the darkness of night without a fire. You awake groggy but rested, but the cold is beginning to take a toll on you. And as you reach for your sword, just instinctually, your fingers kind of have a hard time gripping the hilt. It's okay, there's nothing to fight, Hikari, Mountain Splitter says. But Stormbringer kind of looks weird. And you look over to where Stormbringer has fallen asleep. And now there's kind of a white glow almost emanating from frost and ice that is built up around her body as she slept. You see Dawn Protector kneeling beside her, kind of looking a little bit panicked, not exactly knowing what to do. And as you move closer, you can all of a sudden feel the unpleasant cold of the ice around her. And it immediately reminds you of the feeling you got holding Bright Fang. What would you like to do?
So the ice type of deal
Oh, sorry.
without the oh, sorry.
I didn't push the
He has
talk
to
thing.
push to talk. So I was saying the ice,
Yes.
is it encasing her, like, and I said in a Snow White kind of deal, but without the sexual assault connotations? Let's have a
It's not
strange
really-
man kiss you back to life.
It's not quite encasing her. It's just like starting to build up, almost as if she's been laying here for a few days, and just kind of a little bit of snow and ice started to kind of grow up around
so it's
her.
not like this like encasing of ice.
No.
Okay. So like you could like touch, like
As you get close to sort of touch, you feel that sensation that oh, this is a different level of cold.
Do I feel like it would, or what would I roll if, like, do I feel like it would like freeze me if I like actually touched her?
Yeah,
Okay.
it freeze or at least incredibly hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be painful to touch.
So everyone's just sleeping.
Everyone else is sleeping at the moment, and Mountain Splitter and Dawn Protector are kind of looking at you.
Yeah. I'm probably hungover a little bit, or at least still a little bit drunk, or brain damaged. Probably should have let me sleep. Was it at least 24 hours or whatever it's supposed to be?
Not quite, since the Giants threw the rock at you. No. You have Charity kind of on your left side.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna
Burbage on
wake
your
up.
right.
I'm gonna wake up Charity.
Okay.
And be like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you shake Charity. Charity, you wake up immediately. And that sort of first breath in conscious in the really cold night air is just miserable.
Don't we have a fire going?
No, you don't. Yeah.
Why?
Because you've been hiding from the
Because
Giants.
we've been hiding, that's right.
And
Oh.
Dawn Protector and Mountain Splitter didn't like the idea of this fire.
So as
And for the tieflings especially, this is just
We should have all slept in a big pile.
terrible.
so as you shake me awake, you're scared. Oh God, I assume someone's attacking us. Yeah, giants.
No. But I'm sorry. Just come look at, oh my gosh, Stormbringer. I was like, Dawn Protector, no. Mountain Splitter, no. Stormbringer, come. You need to come look at Stormbringer. She's all icy and I don't know.
Huh. That's Huh.
I'm assuming like you got up and
Yeah, I was gonna say I sort of
like you were right there, right?
yeah. If I
you're
was
not
just
far
to your
from-
side, I would sort of roll up, and then I would assume I'm almost gonna sort of crouch by where Stormbringer is since she's laying down. I'm just like,
Yeah.
That's well. And I'm gonna sort of stop and think in terms of. In the past, she would talk about how she brought storms, and I remember suddenly she was actually able to call down lightning, and I think there was a similar sense. There was static around her, like it felt like electricity had built up in her, and then she was able to shield us from fire. I wonder if something similar could have... Is this a Goliath thing? Do you all normally just sort of generate areas of cold, which I have enough of right now, just generally?
Dawn Protector shakes her head. No, this is not normal.
So do
of
you...
Goliath.
Is it a general Goliath thing to be able to summon lightning from the clouds?
No, not that either.
Okay, so that's not really here or there. So I can't really use Goliath as track record. Can I perform a med check without touching her? Because you said, like, I assume I would have also gotten the immediate sense of that will cold burn me.
Yeah.
But if just like, do I think she is suffering or under threat is what I'm looking for.
Sure. Yeah. Give me a med. That shouldn't be too hard. Med check.
But
Maybe I should burn hands her.
because it's the
what
first
happened.
one, I'm going to give myself guidance first.
Beautiful.
Guidance is a spell that makes you or your friends better at things. Use it early, use it often. This has been your plug for guidance. Do better.
Do you tell that to Charity? Maybe I should burn
Yeah.
hands her.
11.
11. You get the sense that she's resting peacefully. You can see her kind of chest, rising and falling. She doesn't seem to be in distress, but that's really all you can kind of tell.
Yeah, but at the very least, I know that she's sleeping, not like just unconscious, has been knocked out. She's breathing. I'm like, I don't
Normally.
think we need to go straight to the setting the whole place on. Now, you know me. I'm good with the plan that involves setting the whole place on fire. But in this case, I think we can just keep letting her sleep. Probably. If she begins producing localized blizzards, we're going to wake her up. There is a distinct possibility that this happens. I cannot take more cold.
Maybe we should burning hands ourselves.
It's not a terrible. Technically, you guys are resistant to fire.
I could punch you.
adjust
You
the
could punch
temperature on
me.
it?
Hellish rebuke.
True.
I mean, Clem's asleep, but she has flaming spheres, so.
So many
Yeah.
fire spells you can.
I mean, I have straight up fireball, so
Well, I didn't want to kill everybody. I just wanted to have a nice sphere. You could.
the two bystanders are Goliaths. They'll be fine.
At this,
What level's Clem again? She'll probably
7.
be fine.
John
one
Vernicker
check
is
fireball.
taking a kind of a large log and just sort of slightly ramming the side of Stormbringer's head with it. Wake up! Wake up! And then at this, Stormbringer, you do wake up. And Akari, Charity, Mountain Splitter, and they all can see that as Stormbringer opens her eyes, you see a brilliant white, like, glow from it, like just her eyes are kind of normally white and cloudy, but this is like brilliant glow for just a moment, and she kind of blinks it shut, and then the glow stops itself.
That's
And then,
new.
Stormbringer, you're awake, and you start to kind of crack and peel off some of the frost and ice around you.
Why are you prodding me with a log? I was sleeping.
I'm sorry, you were icy, and I didn't. It looked like you were freezing to death or something.
We're in the mountains. It's icy here. You live here. You should know that.
I know, but it doesn't like grow on me.
Oh, yeah, I guess that is a little weird, huh?
We already
It was weird.
We already
It
also
wasn't
already had a
regular.
conversation about establishing precedent for these types of things within Goliaths, and it went basically nowhere. Anyway, you feeling okay there?
Do I feel okay, Andy?
Yeah, you feel great actually.
Yeah, I feel great, actually.
A good rest.
I had a good rest.
No,
And
keep
it is
going.
nighttime.
Tell her more things that she feels. So
No, that's it. It is nighttime, and you've succeeded in a long rest, all of you. And
Woohoo.
as you're kind of getting up, Stormbringer, and stretching a bit, and as Charity and Akari bundling with whatever blankets they can. Mountain Splitter says, should we travel through the night to get back to the village, or should we rest until daybreak?
If you had to rate the mountains on a danger scale, with 1 being not at all dangerous and 10 being extremely dangerous, how much higher is the danger at night than during the day?
Oh, I like 2.
2 higher.
Or, I got confused by the question.
Can someone
Are
wake
the
Clem up?
mountains more sorry, are the mountains more dangerous at night?
A little, yeah. Not much. I mean, not for Goliath, really.
I'm gonna ask Clem.
I was gonna say I'm gonna sort of
Yeah.
crouch over Clem, be like, hey, Clem, I need your feedback on something.
Just gonna like shake awake and just automatically have a dagger in my hand.
Memories.
How
Yeah.
can I ask how long it's been? How long have we been sleeping?
So you've been sleeping about 8 to 9 hours or
Okay,
so
so
already.
we have had a full rest. Okay.
Completely.
Hi, yes, dagger, very good.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, nothing to apologize for. You didn't actually stab me. So I have a quick question for you, because there's been a question of what we should do. Leave now, nighttime, sort of indicating the dark outside the cave, or wait till morning. I unfortunately asked Mountain Splitter and Dawn Protector how much more dangerous it would be to travel at night on a scale of 1 to 10. It didn't go well. Mistakes were made. So asking you the same question.
It's really hard for them to know which numbers are between 1 and 10, so that's a rough question to ask of them.
Yeah, I realized my mistake. Metaphors, not a strong suit.
What time is it, Andy? Did I miss when you said it?
No, so it's you're kind of straining to think, but you got a really good sleep, so it's probably like 10 or 11 at night now.
Okay. And we traveled through the night last night, and
Right.
all we met was my bear friend. So I mean, I feel pretty good. I know that it can be more dangerous, but we can also hide easily in the dark. It's really up to you guys if you want to get, Dawn Protector and
Mountain Splitter.
Mountain Splitter to back to the camps, or if we like in a hurry. I don't really know. We were in a hurry there because of that one, and I point towards Stormbringer, but I don't know if we're in a hurry on the way back.
In your professional opinion, which is more dangerous? Braving the night in these mountains, which are formidable, or potentially giving a metropolis of pissed off stone giants another 8 hours to find us?
Yeah, that one sounds bad. That one sounds pretty bad. I gotta say. So yeah, maybe we should go. That's a good point, huh? Yeah, we should go.
Fair enough. You're the guide.
Dawn Protector reaches out a hand to help you up, Stormbringer.
Oh, I'm good. I got this. I'll stand up on my own.
Okay.
I had weird dreams last night. Charity, Clem, Hikari. Oh, Burbage is still asleep.
Yeah, he's snoring in the corner. You're packing up the horse.
Burbage? Burbage?
Do you think we could just pack him in a to-go bag?
Burbage?
Yeah.
What is it? What's going on?
I had weird dreams last night.
Oh, did you have the same dreams as I did?
I don't know. What dreams did you have?
I dreamt that a strange lizard was crawling up my leg and stretching out and then scratching my hair. And then it became my hair. And then it started a toupee business called To Pay or Not To Pay.
God, you're even dreaming puns.
Also, did you have a dream about Hamster Lad starting a business?
Is he a lesbian?
You think it was Hamster Lad? Do you think it could be Hamster Lad? I don't know. What did you dream about, Stormbringer?
I dreamt about a bully, but he's not like a bully. That's confusing. His name is Bully, but he's a bull, but he's not a bully, but he is a bully because that's what names mean. It's what you are. But he's not a bully. He's just a
The rest
bull.
of you see, as it's going on, the rest of you see something terrifying happening right behind Stormbringer. There, all of a sudden, is a giant, massive figure with glinting horns behind her, and then it's gone, and then it's back up, and then it's gone again. And in fact, every time she says that word "bully," it seems to appear behind her.
I'm gonna draw my sword
Does
and
it-
just be like,
Does it?
just like slowly, like
So, question: Does it
slow motion style.
like flicker into being for an instant when she says bully, or is like it appears when she says bully and then disappears the next time she says bully?
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Well, which of the two?
The second one, yeah.
Okay, so it's like an on-off switch. I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
till the next time it's gone and sort of hold up in. Stormbringer, just a second.
What?
Could you do me a favor? Yeah. But just real quick, could you do me a favor?
Okay.
Say bully.
Right. So it was. Are you confused? He's not a bully, but his name is Bully.
Stop! Damn!
He's a bull named Bully.
Stop!
But
Stop!
he's not actually a bully.
So there's a figure that's appearing behind you, largish, glinting horns. Is his name Bully? Is this the aforementioned Bully, who is not a bully, but just is Bully?
Oh, I'm so glad you understand that he's not a bully. At least I don't think he's a bully. He might be a bully, but I just met him. He wasn't very nice the first time I met him. He was kind of a bully then, but last night he wasn't really a bully at all.
I'm getting kind of sick.
Oh man, we've got a real nightmare.
Oh, hi, bully.
We've got a real Nightmare on Elm Street situation going on here.
Gotta be good.
Yeah, and then hi, bully. He.
Oh, where'd he go?
I think every time you say his name, he appears or disappears. Basically, if he's here, he goes to not here, and if he's not here, he comes to here. So maybe if you want to have him here and converse with him, say his name once, and then refer to him by a nickname, which is not the same thing as his name.
Oh, okay. I can name
What if
him.
you call him Billy? It's pretty close to Bully, and that way you won't forget it so easily.
Yeah, that's good. That's like bully, except it's just one letter different than bully.
You did it again, but yeah, so you could say Bully and then say hi, Billy.
Bully. Hi, Billy.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm gonna call you that now. Oh, that was a real dream.
I feel a bit. One moment, and he turns around and he goes, and just kind of a bluish gas just erupts from his mouth and covers a nearby tree, and the tree itself starts to then turn into stone.
Okay, let's not breathe that on us, thank you. Sorry, I imagine being summoned in and out of this plane of existence probably generates some acceleration.
Whew.
Sorry, is your name really Billy? Because that reminds me of an unresolved setup that I made on March 16th, 2019. The name of my childhood sled, which rhymes with Doomlily, which I'll hasten to point out nobody has even tried to guess since then, was in fact Boom Billy. Boom Billy. I forget what the conditions were for that contest, but obviously nobody has won. At any rate, hello, magical bull creature. Welcome.
It sort of bows a bit to you. And Dawn Protector and Mountain Splitter just look amazed. And Dawn Protector kind of settles up next to you, Stormbringer. You're able to. I mean, that's the figurine I had mentioned.
No, so he's not a figurine. I don't fully understand still, but he said he's not a figurine and he's not a statue.
Okay.
At this, Charity's just going to look at Bully Billy. Yep. She just went through every form of like sculptural figural representation, didn't she, when she was trying to ask what you were?
He kind of nods at you. It seems like when he speaks, only Stormbringer is able to hear it, but he does seem to be able to understand everyone else.
A pleasure to meet you.
He's a
And then we can-
person, and he said he was in my head, but it was still real. But I guess now he's not in my head because he's here. Are we in my head right now?
Not right now, no.
Okay, good.
Do you need me for something? I was having a dream.
No, I was telling them about my dream. What dream were you having?
Was there some
Something-
kind of statue in your dream that you could bring
was
to
like
life
a-
if you said a certain name, or is that too much?
No, it was like a lizard was crawling up my arm, and it would rest on its head, and it would make horns. And
And I'm just picturing the rest of us are seeing this giant bull look somewhat perplexed and like meanderingly moving its head, and we're just like,
and so this bull almost looks like kind of as if living plate mail were just shaped into the form of a bull, and every time it moves you can kind of hear a slight soft grinding of the plates, and if he kind of huffs a little bit of that blue, almost dust smoke kind of snorts out of his nostrils.
You can go back to sleep. It's okay. I was just telling them, and I guess you showed up here, so now I'm gonna call you Billy so you don't show up anymore, except for when I want you to show up, I guess.
Feel free to change the name of my summoning whenever you'd like.
But if I do that, then you'll show up when I say that name, right?
That is true. Yes.
So
I think we're arriving at a workable system, Bully Billy.
yeah. Anyway, I had a weird dream about this guy, but I guess he's real.
He kind of wanders over a tree and just starts kind of rubbing his plates against it.
Do you want to maybe send him back to Dreamland?
Right, I have to do that. Okay, Bully, you can go away.
Andy, do the sound again.
No.
This is for the
Much better.
podcast. I need to hear the sound for editing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sure. Here's it coming into existence. And here's it going out.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
When I finish a long rest, I can magically touch a flask and magically produce an experimental elixir.
Yeah.
And at level 6, I can do that twice. So can I roll for that?
Please. That sounds great.
So just wake up as all this is happening, and I just kind of reach for a flask in one of my bags and just magically fill it with something.
Some.
Something.
So that's a 6. Ooh, this is a good one.
Okay.
On the table, the 6 is the transformation elixir. So whoever drinks it, the drinker's body is transformed as if by the alter self spell. The drinker determines the transformation caused by the spell, and it lasts for 10 minutes.
This is what Stormbringer had been waiting for you to make.
Yeah, but I couldn't last
too
time.
late.
But I get 2 now, so let me roll my next one.
Okay.
And a 3 is resilience. The drinker gains a +1 bonus to AC for 10 minutes.
Ooh, nice.
And these only last for today. So they'll be gone if we don't use them by today, and I'll have new ones tomorrow.
Excellent. Cool. Dawn Protector kind of taps you on the shoulder, Stormbringer, and points out over the small little valley onto a nearby peak, and you can see several kind of large torches moving around kind of the top of the peak. She says, I think those are our pursuers. I'd leave and return to Gunagaim, or maybe hide a bit more.
How far are they?
What do you say? It's like a peek over, so it's those lights would take a couple hours to get to you. Still,
I mean, my suggestion would be leave. I know you weren't talking to me, but I'm kind of their guide here, you know. So,
I paid you with a spear.
you did. You did. It's true. So, I mean, I'll take that spear payment and give you my advice that we should go. We could still try and be sneaky as we go, but we should probably, you know, go to get away from them and maybe get back to the city.
Yeah, let's go and just try to go kind of quietly so that sound carries sometimes, and I don't want them picking up our trail.
Yeah.
let's all do a round of stealth checks then as we get going.
As we start moving, Burbage will be like, "Hey, Stormbringer, I noticed. Do you have any crossbow bolts that you'd be willing to give to me? Because I'm almost out."
Oh yeah, I have like almost 100. Do you just need like 75 or?
Oh,
good.
wow. That is so many crossbow bolts. I will take, I'd be good with 40.
Okay, well I have more than 40, but you can have 40.
All right, cool. Thank you. Let's whisper and be stealthy. I'm going to
Right.
roll a stealth check right now.
I rolled a 2.
In your head, you're going to go, for the love, you're going to hear, for the love of God, we can talk in our minds.
Yeah, I mean, didn't do too well.
15 for me.
14 for me.
21 for Burbage.
I can add 4 to mine, but I don't think it would make a difference.
Dug it. And a curry 10. All right. So you're going, with horses and equipment, kind of clanking here and there. A lot more clanking seems to be coming from Clem than everyone else. And a couple times something kind of falls out of one of your bags, Clem, and you have to kind of stop and rustle around on the ground and pick it up. Are you using the lantern that you had been using before?
We need some sort of light for some people.
Yeah.
I could also
Burbage
literally like
and
pick up
the
a rock
Goliaths.
and do
Light.
on it too.
Well, yeah, because the lantern just helps us see invisible creatures, but I don't know if we're too worried about invisible creatures.
So Burbage has blind sense. He got that from at level 14. So as long as Burbage is able to hear, he is aware of the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 10 feet of him.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, so if somebody just wants to cast light on something, then I think that could be
Yeah, I can do
good. Or have like the little dancing lights out if everybody has that one.
I don't have the dancing light, but I have the
Yeah, so Hikari, you kind of pick up a stone and light it. And it's small enough that you can kind of cover it a little bit, but light the path of in front of you. So if you want to be up in front with probably Clem and Stormbringer, and then Clem and Stormbringer, either one of you give me with advantage, or both of you roll survival as you're trekking through the mountains.
Somebody has guidance.
Nice.
And My survival's a 1.
Okay, I can do it then.
You have guidance.
Should I do it with advantage and you can just support me?
Yeah, that works for me. Hey!
Wow. That's a nat 20, a total of 27 with the guidance. Very nice. So, yeah, Clem, there's a few times where you're like, well, no, the path is this way. But Stormbringer's like, yeah, but when I was young, I found that there was a way around this bend and you don't have to go through kind of the thick, jagged rocks, and this might cut down on some time. And
So what you're
you're able
saying is
to be
I'm being a
stealthy.
really helpful guide that they've hired. Totally need.
Yeah.
We didn't exactly pay you well, so we're getting our money's worth.
We paid what she asked.
Yeah, with a that's so good. So you're able to take paths that you're pretty sure giants either can't follow you or would have no clue that this was even a path. And yet it's sturdy enough for the horses, um, and mountain splitters just kind of walking behind, up on in the rear. So how do you pass? You got about 6 hours of travel probably to the Goliath village of Gunagaim.
Can I make? Is it worthwhile to make a perception check to see if I notice anything bad out
Yeah,
of the ordinary?
let me know what
whatever?
you're doing during this time.
Yeah, I just want to look around, just keep an eye out continually for any kind of dangers or
Okay.
anything cool that I could collect along the way, or
Yeah.
any other fun creature friends that I have that roam these mountains.
Gotcha.
19.
19. It's do you have dark vision?
Yes, I do.
Good. Okay. Um good. So oddly enough, as Hakari passes with her light spell, you notice, because you're a little bit further back, something kind of glinting on the side of the road in what looks to be kind of a large dead bush.
Does it
This
seem
is a couple hours into the trek.
dangerous from where I could see? Like it might be like a creature or something waiting to ambush, or
You don't
looks like
think
an
so?
object?
Yeah, it looks like more just something shiny.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to it then.
So you kind of push the bush aside, and it's a bit prickly, but you really kind of get in there, and you find it looks like a shield is just wedged kind of underneath one of the roots of this thing almost.
Can I do like an investigation check on it to see if it looks like it's some kind of weird trap set, or if it just landed there? Or...
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Also, as we're trotting along, I feel like Charity's gonna go. Wait, the guide just left the path. The
I
guy
just saw something shiny. It's fine.
Clem would also know about the axe that Burbage and Hikari found in the bush after we fell down the mountain. So I don't know if this would remind her of that.
Possibly.
Just saying.
There was an
Yeah.
axe. I forgot already.
And then I was message cantripping Stormbringer, bush axe, bush axe, bush axe, bush axe, with no context or explanation.
We're nothing if not
So
communicating.
does this look similar to that, or?
Yeah, so you don't think it's a trap or anything. It just looks like something that's been here a very, very, very long time. But it does remind you of Goliath make a little bit.
Okay. Is it like I can pick it up and everything, right?
It's right. It's kind of wedged underneath, like one of the roots is sort of growing around it. You need a strength check to
Yeah.
free it.
I
Yeah.
could do that. Could I use like a dagger to try and cut at the roots too? And
You can. It'll take a lot more time to do that. But
then I'll just try a strength check. I'm so strong. That's a 4.
that's a 4. A 4 does not quite cut it. You like, and it just isn't budging.
So
Hey, Stormbringer, I found something here that looks like it might be Goliath make, and I kind of just I want to take it and look at it later. Could you help me pull it out? And maybe I could, just so I could look at it later.
Yeah, of course I can help, tiny person. I understand. It's really hard being small, I bet. I mean, I don't because I was
Sometimes,
never
but
small, but...
also don't forget, you know my name. It's Clem.
Right, Tiny Clem. I can help.
That works for me. If you just could get the shield, that'd be,
Okay, sure.
Do I need to make a strength check?
Please.
So until Clementine asked Stormbringer for help, did we all just stop walking and just watch her walk away from us?
Yeah.
And like rummage in like a bush or roots or whatever. We're all just standing there.
Like something I do regularly where I'm just like picking berries off, stuffing them in my pocket, or like picking leaves.
So Charity was like, our guide is walking away again. All right, let's stop and watch her root around in roots.
Rummage in the mud. Yeah.
I rolled an 18.
Hey, I'm an alchemist. I need to have all these kinds of things to make my my tinctures.
Stormbringer with an 18, you're able to I mean, it actually takes a bit of force, but you're able to, after a few tugs, free this thing. And it's a really old wood shield with sort of metal trim, with what looks to be several different kinds of hides attached to it.
Does it seem magic?
You can give me an Arcana check.
Sure, those are definitely my specialty. 12?
Does not seem magical, no.
Here you go. Here's a shield. It's old.
Thanks. I just want to look at it. I like to, sometimes you can find neat things when you just rummage through everything. And I just stick it onto one of my packs on the back and just kind of add it to the
the pile of stuff you've collected. Yeah.
So while Clem was doing that, Burbage would have messaged cantripped Charity and said, why the hell not? Message cantrip Charity. So wanted to pick your brain about the highly dangerous magical puzzle box that I've been carrying with me surreptitiously. One, Clem might be able to help us open that. She seems very interested in puzzles and devices and artificial things. What might we call her? Some kind of artificializer.
Clementine purse.
Sorry, what? The Clementine purse, artificializer. This can all go in the list of things that we can call Clem. Anyway, but also pretty sure I found and stole this box from Dawn Protector's tent.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Dawn Protector is one of the Goliaths that we're traveling with right over there. So, do you think that we should maybe ask her about the process Avatarana and just kind of see if she says anything like, oh, Israk Devere sent you? Yes, I've been guarding that book and it's in a puzzle box in my tent. And then we could say, oh, well, luckily for all of us, we actually have it with us. And since Israk Devere sent us to find it, no harm, no foul. You know what I mean? So we could do that while we travel, or we could do it when we get back to the Goliath village. Thoughts?
Okay. First, the phrase pick your brain is very ominous when you are speaking directly into my head.
Oh, plus, talking about it at the same time as I'm talking about Israk Devere.
Second,
Yikes.
I think it would be worth having a bit more of a conversation with Clementine. I have interest in the fact that she appears to be a highly trained mage hanging out on her own in the mountains. That feels weird. So maybe just a little bit of a conversation before we show her that, but I agree she has great capabilities there. Third, I spend about 70% of the time not sure if you're being an idiot or you're convinced I'm an idiot. 4th. Yeah. No, that's definitely Dawn Protector. Same one. Am aware. I think that overall, if we get a good feeling about Clem, which so far nothing has been bad there, but just, worth checking in, making sure that, blood pacts, revenge quests, nothing of that sort is what drove her to the mountains. Then maybe we, do take that tack of talking about our general goal vis-a-vis forbidden knowledge that will prevent gods breaking into the world, that sort of thing, before we mention the, I don't know, it's breaking and entering at a minimum. How valuable did the box, and does this qualify as like grand larceny or anything? That wasn't really my branch of criminality, so, but yeah, I think maybe we see if she's willing to say anything about it before being like, oh, hey, conveniently saved you a trip. We stole this. Finger guns, not actual guns, unless you get violent.
Sure, all right. Well, since apparently one of us is an idiot, which one of us should maybe approach Dawn Protector about this? Do you want to do like rock, paper, scissors, or...
Charity is going to sort of stop and go, let me ask Clem a couple of questions first, and then we can roll a die for it.
All right. Oh, yeah, you've still got those dice.
Most of them.
That what's-her-name gave you. What's your girlfriend's
Most
name?
of them. Aideen.
Wait, most of them? What? Oh, you did... Something happened.
Fucking dragons. Pelatoth powdered one of them.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was like, wait.
Pelatoth decided to take my visual aid to a metaphor in a much more literal direction, where I'm like, oh, those were...
Right, I remember that now. Burbage
gift.
wasn't there for that. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, Pelatoth took something valuable from both of us, didn't he? Well, I gave it back to him. Anyway, never mind. All right, talk to Clem. I'll just keep traveling here, along with these huge people. That's it.
Nice.
Well, at least that wasn't the random party line this time. And remember, it's on the... Back into his head. And remember, it's on the agenda for the next family meeting as to whether we actually have to start the message cantrips with the words message cantrip.
Yeah. We'll get to it, Charity. There are more pressing things, don't you think? Like, a god trying to break into the world. Hello? Have you forgotten that Behelit wants to use...
You're really deciding that 70%, aren't you?
Anyway, yeah. All right, cool. Hey, Kari, what are you doing? Let's have fun. Will you carry me? Let's... Woo! Right. Woo!
Okay, but maybe less wooing, because
Oh, wait.
we're trying to be quiet.
We're supposed to be stealthy.
Yes.
Woo!
I feel like as Charity, like, sort of, pulls his horse up so that it's more level with Clem's, he is just going to say under his breath, remarkably, that was one of the more productive conversations I've had with him. He's like, so, Clem, I have a question for you.
Yeah?
You seem to be a very practiced and well-trained mage.
Yeah, it's good of you to notice.
Well, yes, I mean, first compliments. You basically brained a rock in one shot.
Yeah, I've never done that before. That was crazy.
But I was just wondering, where did you receive your training? Because I can't imagine it was... Sort of points around. Here, this feels more, I don't know, plant magic-y, rocks, things like that, as opposed to viscera.
I mean, this could be a little bit of information trade. If you want something from me, I could get something from you.
This really is just your angle, isn't it? Sure, yeah, sure, what the hell. Don't
Hey,
blame
man,
me
it's
for the
an
night.
economy. Everything you gotta pay for everything with something, right?
So we're going with self-disclosure trades. Don't blame me for the nightmares.
I just know that y'all are looking for something that you haven't told me, and I'm just really wanted to know what it is that you're looking for. But I could tell you I trained with a guy that did a lot of tinkering, you could say, worked with a lot of different machinations and things like that. And he, I don't know that much. Like, I'm not a wizard, I don't have like all those kinds of, yeah, all that kind of information. I don't have some weird, like, dark pact with a god. I would never do that. And yeah, I just learned a couple things here and there from this guy I worked with, and then it just there's really nothing fancy to it.
Interesting. So, was he the source of the doll that you showed me before, the sort of little automaton?
Well, I made that. I learned a lot of stuff from him, and I'm trying to actually make the automatons work. I haven't quite gotten to that part yet. I can make them, and they look cool, but I'm still kind of figuring out the whole like working aspect of them. That part's a little bit harder. A lot of the magic I know is like, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I know a lot about alchemy, so I could do a lot of cool things with fire and acid and all that kind of stuff. But I still am kind of trying to figure out the whole like make a thing move and live that wasn't before. I'm not quite, it takes time.
There is a little bit of a jump from fire to acid to artificial life. Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
closer than you think. It's weird.
As Charity in his mind just realizes that Clem has never seen him cast animate objects. It's like, yeah,
Right, yeah.
closer than you might think. Andy, it looked like you were going to
And
interject
Clem,
something.
that was something that first drew you to that person was they had this kind of theory of bringing life to objects was ultimately a necromantic pursuit, that a lot of people were trying to like heal objects or like try to, I'm going to put good stuff into it, and this person was like, no, it's the darkness of the world that can reanimate dead bodies. That's the kind of magic you
But
need.
I don't really have access to like necromantic type things,
Right.
do I? Or yeah.
You don't, and actually that was kind of what sort of split you two, is he just kept getting darker and darker with his pursuits. He would sleep in piles of bones. He would it's just sort of his whole thing. And that's kind of what ultimately made you go, I wonder if there are other things in this world for me.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this guy, but he was a bit death obsessed, let's say, and I'm a bit more life obsessed, and so I was interested in that. And I mean, I haven't talked about this in a really long. Nobody's really asked me a question in decades, so I haven't really talked about this in a while. Is there anything else you want to know, or?
Well, it's just it's interesting to me because none of my magic is really precisely taught. It's just sort of a thing I know, so it's interesting to me to have this idea of someone training you in magic. I mean, I guess I had my father, but yeah, anyway, no, it's also interesting. In our travels, we've come across some things that discuss these kinds of possibilities, and I thought that they were interesting. So it was just seeing someone else who, with that little automaton, was interested was particularly fascinating to me. You like to lend books and read them, right?
I do. It's true. Books are great. I mean, especially when you're by yourself. Constantly, books are your only friends, along with, like the leaves and the trees and the bears and stuff.
Yeah. Charity's gonna sort of like turn in his saddle and like rummage in his saddlebag and pull out the possibilities of artifice. And be like, I found this book and you could look it over and see what you think. I've been making some additional notes in it. It's by a figure who we keep coming across, Fates of Ryn.
Is that the?
That is the
See
person
Fates of Ryn.
you worked under.
Thank you. I was like, the last name is the same, but
Sorry, it's covered. I couldn't remember if Andy had included the C at the start of the name,
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
covered by the magnifying glass on the handout.
oh,
Yeah.
have I seen this book before? Then I'm assuming, or
Yes. Yeah. He sort of forced you to read it a few times. And in
What
fact,
are my
if you
thoughts
wanted
on
to,
it?
you could add
okay.
you could add your own notes to it. That
And, like,
might actually help Charity.
That's
little
been
bit
kind of,
in
and I
that
think I'd said this a while ago, but that's been sort of Charity's default downtime activity, has been like looking at these magic formulae and frankly knowing what he knows through the things of like animate objects. Of he knows how to breathe artificial life into something, it just doesn't last very long. So I've been sort of like doing lots of arcane formulae and combining that.
Where'd you get this book?
You know, we end up with a lot of places that sell books or people with collections of books who keep ending up dead. Not on us. Not on us. Not because of us. Not on us.
You
But I
sound like
honestly
you really
don't-
need to defend yourself there. Or we it's fine. Continue.
I've killed a lot of people in the last few months. A lot of people. I don't think this was from one of the people that and does Charity remember off the top of his head where this was? Because like we got this one. This was like the second book we'd gotten from C. Ren.
Yeah. Right. The first one was the Doom Lily one.
At the Farnival.
Yeah, and then this one was given to you by Isrek Devere, actually.
Okay, so this was the more recent one, and that was where we had discussed Pelototh had told us that stronghold had been Sea Rens, and that's why there were so many automata.
Yeah.
And so so I would probably be like, this was just given to me by someone related to the question that you had, actually, and there were lots and lots of automata.
Yeah,
Charity,
no,
like,
that tracks.
Goes into like flashbacks of the puppets. They were kind of horrifying. There were also zombies.
Yeah, that all tracks. So this is the guy I was talking about. This is the guy that I trained with. This is who I learned everything from.
So someone who also knew him described him to me as an utterly brilliant asshole. Does that track as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
He's
The picture
real
is
smart,
forming.
but he's a lot.
He's still alive?
Oh yeah, he's not gonna die. Dying's not really on the table for him, if you catch my drift. So it's he's alive. You don't think he's making all these automata and all these different zombies and things, and he's not like trying to make it so that he doesn't die? Like he's not. You don't got to worry about him.
I think we have radically different implications of when I need to worry about someone. Immortals described as assholes generally clocks as a thing that I worry about. But anywho, yeah, thank you. You can look that over, and any notes that you can
Hey,
provide.
you want me to add some stuff? I definitely could. I mean, I was there for years. I learned most stuff from him, and we disagree, like I said, on a lot of stuff, because yeah, he's real into death.
Not really my whole thing, but so yeah, any notes that you can provide with your perspective would be appreciated. I mean, page 6 is literally just repeating the word bone pile again and again and again and again and again for like 3
Yeah.
paragraphs. It's creepy.
That's where he slept. So he that was what he was really into, you know. It was just he was all about bone piles for a while, and thought if he slept there, then maybe he'd be able to absorb some weird skeletal energy that would help with his necromancy. It didn't actually work, because of course it didn't, because that's crazy. But you know.
Huh. Well, yeah, but by by all means, add any notes that you have. I'd be interested in, things that maybe focus on the life-giving aspects of making things alive, as opposed to... Chapter 7 was also quite disquieting. So about your question, what we were doing out here? You want the detail-heavy version or the detail-light version, keeping in mind that gibbering madness may be a side effect of the detail-heavy version?
I mean, I'm always down for details if you want to actually, spell them.
Trying to do this in a, short enough way that we don't spend the entire time until we arrive and or something horrific happens to us engaged in this conversation and going long enough to let Burbage get bored and go talk to Dawn Protector without me. Okay, we're good for a few minutes.
It doesn't seem like a good idea to let Burbage talk to many people on his own. He's a bit of a wild card.
He's charming in his own way.
Yeah, that's a word for it. I mean, he is a halfling, so you can only go so far, right?
We're just going to put a pin in that to talk about later. He's better than his brother. Anywho, so there's
All right.
How much do you know about gods?
I mean, I know that they're not for me. They kind of suck. They meddle in things.
So imagine a really big scale of everything you're describing and a god trying to make it so you don't get the option of whether or not they're for you. Currently, there is a god engaged in trying to punch into this world. And then possibly punch this world. We're not really sure about that. Suffice to say, probably nothing good going to happen from that. And, it shouldn't surprise you, considering a group of stone giants kidnapped people in order to get my sister's attention and all of that we're a little mixed up in that. We're trying to prevent said punching into world/destroying world events, and we've believed that there's some information here that could help us with that. That's why we came out here.
Oh, are you looking for anything in particular, or can I help at all? I mean, like I said, I don't really have much care for gods, but punching the world seems kind of bad.
Yeah, it's a tome, a very secret, hidden tome that we have reason to believe might be out here. And I want to do a quick insight check for just... Clem has so far seemed nothing but pretty straightforward, seems to... I'm just saying, that's where Charity is on all of this. The insight check, I'm not sure if it's on Clem or on Charity on himself. It's that kind of gut check of, does Charity think this is a really terrible idea to, name the book to Clem?
Right, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and roll. See what happens.
Give myself guidance. I saw that trying to be a fucking 1 and I wasn't having it. 23.
23. All right. Very good. With a 23, you are apprehensive only because Israk Devere went to such extreme lengths to hide it away and then forget that he even knew what was in it.
Yeah.
Clem seems like a great person that you can trust. And just even saying the words out loud gives you a bit of a pause. So
it's more on all the things that I know Israk Devere did made me question whether it's a good idea to discuss this with anyone, but I think Clem would be perfectly trustworthy so far as people go.
Yep.
I don't really want to name what we're looking for precisely. A very powerful, very wise, very old mage with, I believe, the best interests of the world at heart went to great lengths to hide it and then cauterize the information from his own brain. So gonna pass on that. Honestly, every time I think about it, I feel a cold hand of death reach out towards me.
I have so many questions about cauterizing into brain on yourself, but that's fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
if we ever want to do another information swap, I can just tell you stories about me watching this guy for 5 minutes, and I will pay for at least 6 requests. Honestly, he was prepackaged for you.
Wow. Does this sound familiar at all to me, Andy? Like this guy or anything about
Israk
what he-
Devere?
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't said his name.
I have not said
but
Israk's name.
Not said
Yeah,
the
so
name,
just
yeah.
how you described him and it, like just what I don't know.
I mean, he sounds like he has to be a friend of Siren's at some point. Like Siren made it made it his life's goal to seek out other people who are interested in this sort of thing, and then kind of bend their own research to his. So it sounds like someone he would have met. But yeah, but there were a lot of those people, so you can't really pinpoint which one.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you said you're looking for a tome that's not really a Goliath thing so much. They're not quite into the big books, but it could have been something that ended up in spoils or whatever. I mean, I haven't heard of it, but I guess it can't hurt to look around some.
Burbage has gotten bored, and he is riding up next to Dawn Protector.
Yeah.
And he's going to say, "So, Dawn Protector."
As he does this in his head, he hears, "Godspeed, little Burbage. Godspeed."
Yeah. Yes.
Burbage Camp, friend, sister of Stormbringers, pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
How about these mountains?
Yes.
So, Dawn Protector, have you read any good books lately?
I'm not one for reading books, really. It's not my thing.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. Right, yeah. Me too, usually. Well, recently, oh, this is weird though. My last real interaction with a book was when a friend of mine, who was going out of town, gave me a book of his to guard and protect because it was a very powerful book.
Oh, okay.
So, Dawn Protector, have you guarded and protected any powerful books lately?
I don't know, not really.
I would like to. Given I've spent so much time with Stormbringer.
Yes.
I know how to read Goliaths.
A Goliath. Yeah, you do.
I'm gonna do an insight check on that shit.
Do it. Yeah.
21.
All right. A 21. You read from Dawn Protector's sort of demeanor that she's confused and doesn't know what you're talking about. That's the Goliath reading you get on this.
Right, okay, yeah. And then Burbage is gonna think to himself, like, all right, okay. Just remember what Charity messaged to you. Godspeed, little Burbage. All right, I got this. Now, why would she be confused? Oh, probably because the book is inside the fucking chest that she's ever opened. All right, Burbage. Message cantrip Burbage. You got this, Burbage. Message cantrip back to Burbage. Thanks, buddy. I do got this. All right.
The
So,
levels of that are ridiculous.
You're gonna hear Cher's voice. You're posting that to the party line.
no. Shut up, everyone. Okay, so Dawn Protector,
Yes, little Burbage.
have you done any good puzzles lately?
Puzzles? No, not really. There was a puzzle. There was a puzzle we had a while ago when we were trying to fit part of the stream of Gunagaim as like a hot spring, and we were trying to separate that off from the rest of the cold water flow, and so that was a bit of a puzzle that we solved.
That sounds fascinating. Gotta love little puzzles like that, you know? So
We also have a
interesting.
puzzle box that is given to the different chiefs when they become chief, and they're taught to open it. That's a good puzzle too. I think those are the only two puzzles though that I really have worked on.
Yeah, puzzles. Yeah, those are both such fascinating.
Stormbringer, does he laugh like that a lot?
I'm a laugher.
That was kind of a new one, but he's a really happy person, so maybe he's just coming up with new laughs.
Does he know how unnerving that is though?
I mean, it's out of happiness, Dawn Protector. I know you wouldn't understand that, but he's happy.
So very,
Okay.
very interesting. So, I'm so curious about Goliath culture and about Stormbringer's tribe. So you said that you had a puzzle box that was it was part of the part of the Goliath sort of thing, and it was given to you by whom exactly?
Oh, I was given it by Stormbringer's mother. As she was on her deathbed.
Oh yeah, and do you know who gave it to her?
Probably the chief before her.
All right, so Dawn Protector,
Yes.
do you know what's in the box?
I do. I opened it. It's odd. It's a puzzle that when you solve it, you can't actually tell anyone about it. You can teach them how to solve it, but then they have to solve it on their own to know what's inside.
That sounds like a metaphor. I think.
Yeah, it's very
Anything
weird. It's a
metaphors.
very weird experience. I don't quite get it.
What is it a metaphor for?
I don't know, but I know things in my head that I can't actually even say out loud.
Kind of like how Billy the bull is in my head.
Kind of. I was never able to get that to work though. So that I wonder if you could also do the puzzle box.
I bet I could. I'm really good at puzzles. Do you know? Do you have it?
I don't.
I forget. Does Stormbringer know that Burbage has it? She doesn't, right?
I don't think.
Yeah, no, I told Stormbringer, I told you that, hey, just so you know, I stole the box.
Okay. Nice.
I'm really good at puzzles. What if we had the puzzle box really close by? You could show me. I'm not good at puzzles, but you could show me how to do it.
How amazing would that be if we did just happen to have it right here with us?
Trotting
no,
along a
it's
road back with Clem, Cherry just gonna go, oh, it's all gone to shit.
It's forbidden for anyone who is not a chief to know the knowledge inside.
Yeah,
Even
you
the
would-
elders who could teach the puzzle didn't know what was inside of it. I'm afraid that's forbidden unless you're the chief. Do you want to be the chief, little guy?
Me, a chief? Are you kidding me? Me, a chief of a bunch of, Goliaths. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? You know what? No, thank you. Who's the current chief? You're the chief, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. Good to know. Well, when you were attacked by the giants, do you happen to remember, well, I guess he wasn't there yet, this weird, obnoxious paladin guy wearing Gahonian clothing who I think he might have shown up right after you were taken. So this doesn't ring any bells for you, does it?
That does not. No, sorry.
Anyway, well, just so you know, when we got there to the camp, there was this suspicious, egotistical asshole who we were pretty sure was snooping around. He showed up at this particular camp looking for this particular tribe for a very particular reason, and we're pretty sure he was trying to get the chief's box. If it wasn't for us and distracting him, he might have gotten it.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah, he was an
really
asshole.
good. Yeah.
So
Good job.
I guess I would just like to take this opportunity to say,
Okay.
everyone stop. This is a big moment. We're going to stop. And I'm just going to, all right, and I'll stand up on my camel or horse or whatever, and I'll kind of I'll kind of say, it is my honor, Chief Dawn Protector of the White Fang tribe, to return to you your very dangerous, powerful magic puzzle box that we have been stewarding in our protection. Here it is, it's yours! Ha ha! And I pull it out.
Oh, okay, thanks. And she'll take it. Put it under her arm and start to trot away.
Hey, now you can show me how to do it, Dawn Protector.
I'm sorry, what?
Now you can show me how to do it. How to open it.
Charity just slides off his horse.
You know that there are certain traditions that only the chief can deal with. This is one of them.
Maybe those things are all dumb.
She's got a point.
No, they're not dumb. They're all, that's what we have. We have.
Maybe those are the reason that your pet ran away before you could eat it, Dawn Protector. Did you ever think of that? And Stormbringer's gonna right ahead.
Yikes.
Oh no.
Did you say that to her, Dawn Protector?
I don't remember. I don't think so. That sounds like a metaphor.
Oh God. Just so, Dawn Protector.
What? Yes.
Do you happen to know, even if you don't know whether you know it, maybe I can read on your face, in a glimmer of your eyes, in the next moment as I whisper this to you so that nobody else can hear it. Perhaps part of the information that has been given over to you secretly as part of the traditions of your tribe might involve the name Israk Devere.
Oh, no. Yeah, the guy in the box. Yeah. Yeah, I remember him. He's weird.
You know, it just struck me that you never did answer my question earlier about what was in the box, did you?
Yeah, he's part of it. That's weird. How did you know his name? You been in my box?
What?
Just kind of pick it up and look it over a little bit. Okay, looks all right. You really shouldn't try to get in if you don't know how. It's really bad.
Yeah, I bet it is. Dawn Protector.
Yeah.
At some point in the very near future, we, i.e., Charity, probably, is going to have to talk to you and carefully explain to you why we need the contents of that box, because we were sent here by Israk Devere himself on a mission pertaining to stopping a god from punching through into this world.
I don't understand most of what you said there.
Yeah, that's all right. Like I said, Charity will tell you about it later. I'm going to go ahead and just let this cut away to another scene now.
Hikari, did you have someone you wanted to look in on or as you're traveling tonight?
Sure.
Okay, you've mentioned this. So if you wanted to, you may cast that spell,
What is it? Scry?
Scrying, to be able to look in on any person or object that you know. And they'll
Or
get
object?
yeah.
That's funny. Okay. What level is it at?
It's a fifth level.
Okay. Oh, it's open. Did you open it for me?
I just did, yeah.
Would you like me to describe it?
You don't have to. Yeah,
Okay.
you take out your sort of crystal ball and kind of wrap it in
Can
cloth.
I cast it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, and wrap it in cloth on the horse, and sort of take about 10 minutes and just kind of concentrate on this. Before what's your save DC?
Where is that?
Up at the
Spell
top.
save DC?
Yeah.
16.
Okay. All right. And so you're gonna look in on who or what?
I want to see what Hamster Lad's doing.
Hamster Lad. Okay, right now.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
So
a little worried.
your vision blurs for a second around you, and you even almost are able to shut off the cold for a second as your kind of vision and mind is transported to Hamster Lad, who is oddly enough putting on a robe. He looks like he just got done with a bath.
Okay.
And he's in a very fancy room. He's got an ink pen that he begins writing something on a piece of paper on his desk, and then he folds that up a little bit and stuffs it in an envelope, and he goes ahead and seals it, and then he begins to like sort of cut his toenails for the rest of the time.
Okay, I'm gonna be done with that
Okay.
quickly.
And that's what Hamster Lad has been doing.
That's what.
At
Yeah,
this
I thought it was
moment.
gonna be something like really.
No, you're good. You can send a
Like,
message to him if you want.
no, that's okay.
But if okay, you're good. But at this point, he seems to be
Alright.
just hanging out after a bath in his chambers.
Cool.
Total good 5th level spell.
Yeah. Thanks. I thought there was like a plot point that was gonna happen.
Oh no, I'm just no.
Because you've been like, hey, you can check in on Hamster
Well, you
Lad,
just
like, all
said
the
you
time.
wanted to do that. I'm like, all right, yeah.
Okay.
Depends on what time of the evening. All right. So, as any other business going on before you sort of come to the travel's end?
Stormbringer's gonna drop back and have a quick chat with Burbage.
Okay.
Right next to him, be like, "Hey, you know how you ran away a while ago? And you went back to Diefield, and you felt really guilty about I think you thought you killed Eldon Dale, but then maybe you didn't. We found out, or something like that. I have trouble following these things. But you felt really guilty, and you felt like everybody was mad at you in Diefield, except you didn't feel that way anymore because you'd forgotten about Eldon Dale and the Emerald Falls. But if you hadn't forgotten, you would have felt really guilty still. And then when you remembered things because of Hikari helping you get memories back, you felt bad still. You remember those things that happened? Do you think maybe that it was like maybe actually it was the people in Diefield's fault for not accepting you as you were, and maybe if they had been willing to accept you and realize that you were a good person, they could have gotten to eat you instead of having you run away?
Burbage was following so much of that until the eating part. Yeah, I do remember all of that. It was really, it's really helpful that Hikari was able to help me kind of recover key aspects of my backstory and my personal history, which are so kind of central and integral to who I am and my identity. Thanks, Hikari, you rock.
I'm giving you a thumbs up for the podcast.
There you go.
So you're asking me if there's a part of me who blames Diefield for not being more accepting of my vulnerable position instead of jumping to conclusions about the things I had done and the kind of person that I am. Is that right?
Yeah, and maybe it's their fault.
Yeah, Stormbringer, there is a part of me that for a long time resented my hometown and blamed them for the things that had happened to me. Eldon wasn't the only asshole in that town. Diefield is a fairly conservative area, which I think comes along with being a very powerful city with a lot of secret generational magic. And, they didn't really want things to change. They didn't really want to accept people who were markedly different from them. So yeah, I have a lot of resentment around that. Sure.
Do you think maybe they can change and be more accepting and grow? Or do you think they just never get to eat their pets?
All right, I'm just going to keep moving past that whole eating pets part because I don't really understand. If you're trying your hand at metaphors, good job.
Thank you.
If you had asked me months ago if I thought people could change or that the people of Diefield could change, I would have said, fuck no. They're a bunch of privileged assholes. But, you were there when I had the trial of Burbage Kemp in Diefield. And the fact is that those people expressed gratitude and openness to new evidence when it was presented to them. And when that trial was over, I was a hero. We were all heroes, and they appreciated us. And, it did let me see a side of them that stemmed from their own vulnerability. They had just been scared people being attacked by fire giants and Ifriti, and, it made me realize that in a way we're all sort of being attacked by one thing or another, whether inside or outside of us, and sometimes all it takes is for us to get a little bit of help, a little bit of support in standing up to what's coming at us. And that, helps us connect with each other and be more open to each other. And I guess what I'm saying is, yes, people can change. I hope they can. I have. Charity has. You have. Hikari has. Clem has. Meepus has. Wait, I don't know if Meepus has. You ever wonder what happened to Meepus? Anyway. Yeah, so I think that people can change, and I think probably, Stormbringer, that it might be worth maybe letting go of some of the resentment and anger and confusion that you've felt with regards to how your tribe responded to you at the time, because they were probably operating from their own fears and their own vulnerabilities. And this is the way life is.
And scared people don't get to eat their pets.
Right. Scared people don't get to eat their pets. I think you've got it, Stormbringer. Well done.
Thank you, Burbage. That was helpful. Maybe I can, I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. And I'll ride back up to the head of the party.
All right. Hours pass in this fashion as you're traveling and talking in low voices, and eventually day breaks. As you crest one of the peaks, looking into the bowl of a cold mountain valley that's dotted with snow-capped rocks and pines. In the middle of that, you see what appears to be kind of a rather large lake. And this lake, on the verge of freezing, releases vapor, almost like a dull fog, just over the surface of it. And you approach. Stormbringer and Dawn Protector and Clem lead down toward this area. And as you get toward the edge of the lake, the Goliaths get off the horses and plop down in the snow and stare out over the mist. And Dawn Protector kind of says, "And now we wait. The Forerunners will have seen our approach and will escort us in." And Clem, you also seem to know the routine here. You pull a blanket off of the horse and you kind of lean against a tree, light a cigar, and just puff it a few times. But the rest of you, looking around, you see no village at all. Stormbringer Dawn Protector then leans into you and says, "Stormbringer, it would be a personal favor to me if you'd accompany us under the cloud." And then Mountain Splitter kind of nods behind there vigorously at that. And then she says, "But I wouldn't expect a Toginth Maw."
I said I'd see you home, and I'll see you home. But once you're in, we're just gonna fucking move on.
Sorry, say that one more time. What did you
We're
say?
just gonna fucking move on. I have other things to deal with, and I mean, I don't know. Burbage said that sometimes scared people don't get to eat their pets, so maybe that's why you all acted like that, and maybe that's why you're still gonna act like that, I guess, apparently, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you home.
If you want to leave after that, of course, that's fine. Just get us in.
I'm going to
And
message
so-
Cantrip into Burbage's head. You gave her back the box, didn't you?
Yeah, I made a big show of it. Do you remember? I just was kind of scared that us being caught with it would be a bad idea. But hey, yeah, she said that Israk Devir's in the box, so pretty sure it has what we're looking for, and so we should try to convince her of the fact that we need that to save the world. I told her you talked to her. She's expecting you. Bye.
And at that, why don't we go ahead and take a break? As Charity's kind of...
Segue.
I love it. Let's go ahead and take a break. Everyone manage your fluids, your intake, your output, whatever you want to do. It's totally good. We'll be come back in about 10 minutes or so, and we'll continue with this story.
See you in a few minutes, everybody.
BRB, everybody.
Love you guys. friends. You're in managed. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. It was kind of a mischief managed thing,
Yeah.
but
But it
whatever.
didn't work. It was
Then you
just a
should
little
have just
gross.
said Miss Piss managed. I'm sorry. I'll go.
Oh, damn it! Piss Mitch anyway.
Managed.
Piss Mitch managed. Welcome back. We are Helpful Go Gaming. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Earlier in the session, the Goliaths woke up Hikari because Stormbringer was looking all weird and icy. That seems to have resolved itself. There's also a bull that has been popping in and out. Stormbringer's going through some changes, which is perfectly normal. It's perfectly natural. It's a thing that happens at Stormbringer's age. It's fine. And you trekked all through the night with some excellent rolls. You completely didn't have any of the 3 encounters occur that I had lined up. Totally awesome. I love it. You didn't find any giants. It seems like you were able to give them the slip if any were following you, because you haven't seen any of them or heard any of them for a long time. And Stormbringer and Dawn Protector and Clem led you down to the sort of lip of this lake in the bottom of this the bowl of this valley. And as you look around, it's just snow-covered mountain peaks all around you at this point. All of them just kind of sit down in the snow. Clem lights up a cigar. Dawn Protector said something about the Goliaths would know that you're there. That the Forerunners would be along to escort you in. Though, again, none of you see any village or anything at this point. So that's where we're jumping right back in. So as you wait by the side of this lake, is there anything anyone would like to do? Or are you just kind of trying not to die from hypothermia?
Charity's trying to process that apparently he's been volunteered to talk to Dawn Protector about. By the way, we need that. He's also trying to process the fact that Isrek Devere is in the box. So one, thank you, because I think we had in chat the mandatory what's in the box references. I appreciated
What's
those.
in the box?
But also Charity's just trying to decide like how many parts this guy subdivided himself into, and how many of them retain sentience. And also, as is usually the case, just reevaluating everything in his life and all of the decisions that have brought him here.
Solid.
I would go up to Stormbringer, and
right.
or I would maybe wave Stormbringer over since I'm already relaxing with a cigar against a tree. So
Yeah, what's up, Clem?
So it's probably a little late, but I was able to make a potion today that can make you look like somebody else if you still want to do it. I don't think you should, but I just wanted to be honest.
I don't think I need to anymore. I think they probably figured out that I'm Stormbringer.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable assumption.
But thank you.
Yeah, anytime. I also got this one that makes you a little bit more resilient, but we're probably not going to fight today, right? There was a lot of fighting yesterday, so I just was maybe today's more the talking variety.
I mean, I might get in some fights. Probably not like the deadly type of fight. I don't know. Trying to decide because people are kind of assholes, but also Burbage said that scared people don't get to eat their pets, and that's pretty valid.
Jesus
That
Christ.
sounds like some kind of malarkey he'd say. I never really understand what that guy's talking about. Are any fights really ever deadly for you? You don't really seem like the
Not so far,
dying type.
obviously, since I'm alive. Usually it's for the other person.
That's fair. You feeling? I mean, it seems like you were real worried about Dawn Protector, and she seems to like you just fine.
She said that I'm a pet like a pet who ran away before you got to eat it.
Is that actually what she said, or are you just paraphrasing for me right now?
That's what Lena wrote down in my notes, and it was like 3 weeks ago. So that's definitely what she actually said.
Sounds accurate. Well, I mean, Goliaths have strange ways about them. I'm sure it was meant to be endearing and
She doesn't like me for who I am. She keeps
Oh.
saying not exactly in those words. But she's all like, oh, look, tradition. I like tradition. And you weren't a real Goliath. You were a bad Goliath. You're bad, Stormbringer. You're a bad Goliath, and I like tradition. Ha ha ha, I have a box.
Is that what she said now?
Yeah.
So I believe the tradition part, and I guess I believe the box part, because I don't really know why you'd throw that in if it wasn't relevant. But did she actually say you're a bad Goliath and she doesn't like you?
Well, no.
Are you really good at the whole intuition, insight, and telling what people are actually thinking?
Yes.
Are you really? I want you to look me in the face and tell me you're good at reading people.
She said that I turned my back on what it meant to be a Goliath.
Did you?
Look, that's like really like that's assuming that things have intrinsic meaning, and I don't think we can make that argument because there's never really been any way to demonstrate that anything
I'm
has
gonna
an
ask you right now to tell me what intrinsic means to you.
the inside meaning.
Fair.
Goliaths aren't dumb. They're
I
just,
know,
they're
I
just
know, I know.
simple.
I
they're
just
simple.
I always like when Stormbringer does the thing where she
I know.
says like a bigger word, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm not used to this. That's all.
Look, she said that I turned my back on what I meant to be a Goliath, and so she was all upset and hurt, and then she didn't get to eat me, and that was a real bummer. So she kept looking for me because she wanted to eat me, because that's what you do when your pets run away, is you look for them, even if they're not good pets. But I am a good Goliath. I'm intrinsic.
You sure are. Do you think if you were honest with yourself though, maybe you turned your back on what it means to be a Goliath in this tribe, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what you needed to do. And maybe it's okay if you have differing opinions of what it means to be a Goliath.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay that I did because I found a new family who loves me for who I am. Mostly, Burbage got really upset with me when I killed Arben, but I think we worked that out. And now I don't kill people without having a conversation first unless it's imminent danger. So that's okay. So I think it's okay that I am an intrinsic Goliath and did what I wanted to do.
So do you
And
need to prove yourself to Dawn Protector, or can you just both admit that you have different values?
but she's an asshole.
Sure.
She's supposed to love me.
I mean, I'm also kind of an asshole. It doesn't make you a bad person
But
necessarily.
you're not supposed to love me, Clem. I met you like 2 days ago.
But I'm feeling like I could.
Oh.
Nah, I'm
That's-
just fucking with you. So I mean,
And at this
okay.
moment, you actually hear kind of a and Dawn Protector kind of gets up, starts dusting the snow off, takes the reins of her horse, and amazingly, you see two Goliaths emerge from the lake, and still sort of halfway covered by the mist. They beckon the rest of you to follow. They don't look wet at all, surprisingly. And and Dawn Protector starts to go in, motions for Mountain Splitter to go in, and she actually extends her hand for you, Stormbringer, to follow with her in.
Stormbringer will kind of like scowl at her but follow.
Does it seem like they're
Okay.
only inviting Stormbringer in, not the rest of us?
No, yeah. At least Dawn Protector is asking for the rest of you to follow. Yeah.
Okay.
So does everyone go? Slip into the mist.
Yeah.
Faux show.
Okay.
Slip into
Yeah.
a little mist every now and then.
Charity's just going to sort of lean over to Kari as they're trying in. Just to be clear, as we're going into this mist lake, do you have the pineapple protocol handy?
I'm sorry. What was that again?
The pineapple protocol?
Oh, the pineapple protocol. Yes, the
You have that?
pineapple protocol.
You have that handy?
Yeah, I always. Do I need to prepare that?
You do, but I think it's prepared.
Well, but that's what I'm asking. Do I need to do something to prepare that,
Oh,
or
no,
is it
no.
prepared?
You just have to make sure it's prepared each day.
Yeah, it's on there.
But if it's highlighted,
Yes, the pineapple
Yes.
protocol is in place.
then you're good.
Good. We might, need it.
Need that. Yeah. Hopefully not, but yes.
All right. So, as you each one by one kind of slip into the mist, it's a strange experience. It is very dense vapor that you had assumed was a lake, but it seems to be just a simple of like cloud covering.
Andy, can you
It seems to keep
re-say
the Goliaths.
from it? It seems to
All of
be.
them?
Yeah, pretty much all of it.
Sure thing, yeah. So slipping into the mist is a strange experience. It is so dense that what you had assumed was a lake is really simply a thin layer of dense cloud covering the Goliaths from wandering eyes. It is still and thick to the point where as you kind of slip into it, you instinctually hold your breath as your head plunges into the fog. You, however, can breathe fine. The diffused light surrounds you, and an eerie silence falls on you and those with you. You can no longer hear the hoof claps of the horses, or the crackling tobacco leaf of Clem's pipe, or the chattering teeth of the tieflings. You can hardly make out, though, figures around you in the mist. Almost like what looks to be the torso of individuals that then sort of morph into fish with long tails. And those shadows are swimming in the mist around you. They dart back and forth, and some of them are larger, some of them are smaller, but while this sounds kind of like a scary thing, it actually feels very comforting at the moment. Because you get the sense that those shadows are watching you, judging, but then allowing you to pass. If that makes sense. And soon you emerge through the dense layer that now hangs above you like a overcast day, and before you is then a picturesque valley. There's a small river, steam and mist coming off of part of that as well. The river that you had assumed fed this lake, in the north end of this valley actually turns into a waterfall, and then a river that goes through a small village. There are snowy trees that line the path toward Gunagaim, which is a small village of maybe 30 or so dwellings, split up by a sudden cliff jutting up on the north side of the town. The buildings, in fact, all the structures are placed delicately between trees and rocks, trying what looks to be architecture that isn't trying to overcome the nature but work within it. The simple buildings look to be made out of straw and gray, almost nearly silver mud. It looks like a baked mud. Smoke rises from the chimneys, but was not seen above the mist cloud above. And fields of snowberries are grown on the southern side in this harsh climate. The plants with white and blue leaves and red berries sprinkle a bit of color in this generally black and white scene. As you approach, you already see folks are gathered on the sides of the road, anxiously awaiting this party. Children, young Goliaths, run up toward all of you, sticks in hand, and they shout something like, Toginth Ma! And they begin to smack the ground with the sticks in a rhythm. A few bounce around Dawn Protector and begin to kind of yelp and bark. And just as you might consider this the play of children, the adults begin to join in as well. They circle and they sort of separate Dawn Protector and Mountain Splitter from the rest of you, dancing around them, barking and almost yelping, hitting the ground with these sticks in this rhythm. And this culminates in what seems like the whole village swarming the Goliaths as you reach the edge of town. And then from the midst of the revelry, a voice shouts, Togenth Paru! And the chanting and the barking and the dancing immediately ceases and is replaced by smiles and hugs. You all begin to feel slightly awkward as no one has really turned to you. They're all focused on Mountain Splitter and Dawn Protector. And Stormbringer, you can't help it. You've never felt like such an outsider in this place. Is that something you would allow to show on your face?
I'm probably just like incredibly pissed off.
All right, so then your friends kind of start to see that on you. As the crowd begins to die down and the Goliaths start to turn back and head into town, you hear the clack of a lone stick on the hard ground. And an elder voice, Togenth Ma! And as the crowd parts, you see Elder Brain Crusher scraping the ground with the staff, pounding it in the same rhythm you heard before. And she makes her way to you, Stormbringer. And in the practiced motions of years of ritual, she circles you. And then Skydrowner immediately begins yelping and barking and slapping the ground with the stick around you. And a few more voices join in, and then Mountain Splitter borrows a child's stick and joins in as well. And you all can feel the rest of the tribe look to Dawn Protector, whose face is stern and frowning. And then she too jumps in, yelping and circling Stormbringer, cutting her off from the rest of you for a moment. This Togenth Ma is not quite as ruckus as the previous, and yet you sense more purpose and passion in the ritual, even as lay bystanders. And then Togenth Paru is shouted, and the small group that had swarmed around you, Stormbringer, begins hugging and kissing you on your cheeks. They begin sort of pinching your cheeks and shaking your head a little bit. A few of the children kind of pull on your dreadlocks that are long enough for them to reach. And as many others sort of awkwardly stare on in silence, you can't help but feel relieved, Stormbringer. And then Dawn Protector climbs up on a kind of hay bale slash fence that seems to be housing a few of the horses right on the side of the road, and begins to address the crowd.
Did Andy freeze for a second?
She shouts I'm sorry?
I think you're good now.
Are we good?
What?
I'm sorry, what's going on?
What's happening?
No, I think you're good.
You're just a little bit lagged.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Are we good now? All right. A little lag, sorry, my bad. I was also loading in the screen. Cool. All right, so as Dawn Protector climbs up on this hay bale and fence to address the crowd of the village, she shouts, "Seal the cloud!" And somewhere further in the village, you hear that horn again. And the overcast cloud above you turns a bit darker. And then silence and a hush falls on the crowd, all looking to Dawn Protector. And she says, "I would be dead if it weren't for Stormbringer and her companions. Mountain Splitter would be dead if it weren't for Stormbringer and her companions. They are to be welcomed here." And then another voice further in the crowd, "She cannot!" And that's Elder Pain Whisperer that you've met before. "She broke with our ways. She didn't challenge. She murdered a promising young Goliath like a deceptive thief in the night and was sentenced to death before you pleaded it into exile. Her own mother, Rock Punisher, your predecessor, cast her out. You mock the ancestors when you bring her under the cloud." And then Dawn Protector, "But never once did we hear her side of things. We never understood how she could do that, or why she would turn her back on those traditions, why she would avoid the way of this tribe like an outsider." And another voice pops up. It's a male dressed in just mountains of furs. "You alone, chieftain, command the ears of the elders. We will not listen to any other Goliath on this matter, especially one who is no longer Goliath." And there's some murmuring now in the crowd, and Dawn Protector looks down and looks over to you, Stormbringer. And she looks sad and defeated a bit. And the elder begins to shout to the rest of the crowd, "Nola Kulain returned, knowing that to step under the cloud again was to be met with the sentence of death."
Hey, excuse me? Fuck you. I returned to save your fucking chief because she was out, like, captured by giants and also my sister. Like, you can fuck off. I said I'd bring them back safely, and I did.
That's right, she did. Look, if you're only going to listen to the chieftain on this matter, then Stormbringer will be chieftain. There are just audible gasps and murmurs now in the crowd. And Pain Whisperer shouts, You cannot! That is not how these things are chosen! You are as bad as her if you spit on the way of this tribe. On the ways of the ancestors, a leader must be challenged in strength and will be sanctioned challenger by an elder. Do not be an outsider who comes in and cares little for our ways. Be a leader, Dawn Protector." And Dawn Protector sort of looks down at the ground, doesn't exactly know what to do, and she says, Well, in that case, and she looks over to you, Stormbringer, and she kind of has an odd little smile on her face and just like winks really slightly at you. Then it is the law of this chieftain that Stormbringer and her companions are to be put to death at first light tomorrow. The law is unbreakable, and unless someone, and she looks over to you, Stormbringer, were to challenge me for the chief by night's fall, at that point, whoever was chief could simply make a new law, and you elders would be obliged to listen to them. And at this, Dawn Protector leaps off of the fence and turns to head into the village. And Stormbringer, you look to try to make eye contact with her, but everyone's sort of moving too fast. The crowd is immediately starting to get away from you, and you start to be kind of ushered away. You hear Elder Brain Crusher, the one that had welcomed you, say, come now, child. To the Water Links Inn with all of you, please."
Hey, message cantrip brain crusher. This is dumb. If I can change things, then she can change things too as chief. I don't have to become chief. She's just not I don't know, willing to do it or something.
That was kind of my thought as well. I'm kind of lumped in high. It's me, Clem. I don't want to be killed with everybody because I'm useful. But also, why can't she just be the one to change the laws since she's already the chieftain?
Right, message cantrip Clem and brain crusher. I don't think this doesn't this doesn't track, right? Because I don't think they'd want me to be chief, and I'd have to be constantly fighting against people who challenged me a lot. People clearly. So.
Do you want to be chief? I don't think that you want to be chief here. I think that that wasn't really your goal, was it?
Let's get inside. We don't need to talk about this out here.
I messaged him.
A bit worried of ears.
It's not. But to be clear, Stormbringer almost always speaks out loud her message cantrips, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So they could totally hear all of it. Yeah.
She also can't message cantrip them.
Can't message cantrip. Yeah,
Right, she doesn't have that ability.
Had to be.
I didn't know if Burbage looked over and just saw her mouthing words at Brain Crusher, and we're all just what?
No, she's speaking out loud. She's just saying message cantrip first.
Burbage will quickly message cantrip Stormbringer. There might be some pronounced utility in you becoming chief, because the contents of the box are only knowable by the chief, and said contents might help us to save Charity's life and the world. So, something to consider. Bye!
Message cantrip Burbage. They don't want me as chief. They made that really clear, and you can get the box a different way because they don't like me for how I am, and they don't think I'm a Goliath, and they don't accept me or love me, and you all love me. So, message cantrip, you get the box.
Message cantrip Stormbringer. It
box?
seems.
What are you talking about?
Nope, nothing.
Charity's gonna kind of usher Skull Crusher or Brain Crusher forward, and just be distracting her with, okay, so about the whole they're sentencing us to death thing. Be have your conversation, bye.
Burbage would say, Stormbringer, I think more people love you here than you are letting on or are willing to acknowledge and accept. So, remember what I said earlier. People can change. All right?
Yeah.
All right, but sentenced to death, about that bit, not a fan. Not a fan at all. Thank you.
So the door to Water Links Inn is opened. And there is a large roaring fire in the middle of this place, with sort of a suspended chimney above it. It looks incredibly inviting to the tieflings. I'm not gonna lie. It looks really nice and warm and cuddly right by that fire. It'd be the first warmth you've had in days of these horrible mountain treks, and as you kind of get in there, there's one other Goliath that is seemingly tending bar and getting drinks and stuff. They're already getting food around. Brain Crusher with you, Charity, is kind of ordering a few things to be put by the fire.
I just literally like ran inside.
Yeah, and she's kind of gathered that small group of you over by the fire and then shut the door behind her so that no other of the townsfolk are going to follow in.
Does it seem like we're being treated as like prisoners right now, or is it kind of?
It doesn't really seem that way. It almost seems like you're a kind of special guest at this point.
Okay.
They're gonna sacrifice us and eat us. aren't they?
Stormbringer would know that when you seal the cloud, you can't go out of it.
Yeah.
So one thing I just want to do, and I don't want to necessarily role play it, but if it's at all possible, Burbage would ask maybe the bartender how one might send mail or get something delivered from Gunaheim. Is there like a are there people here is there somebody here that Burbage could like pay to like deliver something for him?
Oh yeah, we have messengers that come in and out, and they get paid every once in a while for it. It's nice.
All right.
Would you have in mind? I might be able to send someone your way.
Yeah. If I leave a piece of mail here for you and some gold, could you give it to the next messenger you see?
Of course, yeah. Absolutely.
And so basically what Burbage wants to do, Burbage realized that his dream in the last podcast episode, what he's been thinking, like, what does that dream mean about the lizard crawling up into his hair and then becoming his hair? And it struck him, Samson's a lizard person. It has nothing to do with Hamster Lad. It's about Samson. And Burbage once knew a guy back in Diefield named Samson who had like gorgeous hair, and it was like the source of his strength. I'm sorry, everybody. This is just the way it worked out. It really, I improvised that dream, and then I was like, oh wait, that kind of fits with something that I want to do as Burbage. And Burbage is like, so basically what Burbage wants to do is give Samson's submission that he had mailed to whatever, I forget where he wanted to get his writing published.
Yeah.
Burbage would like to like have that delivered because he remembers liking Samson and feels bad thinking about Samson like sitting around like crossing his fingers hoping to get accepted when his submission never got there. So that is what Burbage would like to do, and I don't know how much that would cost for Burbage to maybe leave that for a messenger to complete the sending of.
Well, I mean, gold is one thing, but if you got something you could trade, that would be really good, you know.
Don't suppose your messengers like caltrops, do they?
But not especially now.
All right. How about this Fireblight cult mask? Voila.
That's interesting. Yeah. And as you're sort of kind of haggling with the bartender over what might be acceptable, Elder Brain Crusher is kind of taking you over Stormbringer, and set you by the fire and just immediately put a blanket around you. And she kind of leans down and says, you could absolutely be my champion. I will sponsor you as one of the elders if this is what you want. You can challenge tonight.
Okay, but brain pressure, like, I'm not even gonna message Cantrip this time. Like, slow down. Think about this for a second. This is dumb. If I can, what's that word? Get rid of the death sentences on us, then Dawn Protector, if I'm chieftain, then Dawn Protector can do that now. She is like fucking like obsessed with tradition, but she doesn't have to, like, she can just be like, no, but we're not gonna do this because I'm chieftain, haha, fuck you all. She was strong enough to become chief. I guess she killed my mom.
I don't think Dawn Protector wants to be a chief. I think this is sort of her way of getting you to do it and not her.
That seems like pretty uncool, right? Like, oh, so wait, she's like basically, yeah, wait, that's really fucking uncool. She's gonna, like, basically, I become chief, or she tries to kill me and my friends because she doesn't want to be chief?
She's tied up in the rules and laws of the elders.
No, she could just quit.
I don't think she knows any other options.
She can retire.
It
The
sounds
Pope
pretty
retired.
manipulative to me. I don't know.
Stoneberger, you know we can't retire. This is how we choose our leaders.
But it doesn't have to be. She's the chief. She can just be like, hey, I'm not doing this anymore. Bye, bitches.
But a chief is just as tied to the rules as anyone.
You're not selling me on becoming chief, Brain Crusher.
Do you want to be chief, Stormbringer? You would command our village. You would allow us to live by your law. You don't have to stay here for that. Dawn Protector was hardly ever here. She's off the world looking for you.
And now she's either gonna make me stay and do the things she doesn't want to do, or kill me.
I mean, you don't have to stay. You could tell us what to do and move on.
But then why do you even need a chief? This is dumb.
This is how we've always done it. It's not
That's
dumb. It's
dumb.
It's a bit dumb. The elders basically run everything anyway, but if we had a voice and a chief that was meant to be good. Do you know this Sir Benaventura very well?
The weird guy in the armor?
He's here, probably speaking to Dawn Protector right now.
We warned her about him.
I have warned some of her servants to tell her, yes. He seems weaselly and odd, and I don't particularly trust him.
Yeah, we told her he was an asshole.
But some of the elders have already made up their mind to listen to him. It seems he's asking for a fighting force to join the Goholnian army.
Just pause really quick.
Yes.
We in Fates of Ryn don't know anything about the Goholnian army's tie to Bahamut, right? That's the only come up in the other plane. Okay.
Yes.
We do, however, not have very high opinions generally of the Goholnian army or the Goholnians. Just in a
conscript verbiage, also those kind of verbiage.
Yes. In a mundane way of they seem like they're warmongering expansionists and
who are the people in the war? The
quasi-fascists
fighting. What are the two sides?
Goholnia is at war with Wigmols.
And we're on the side of the Wigmols?
I mean,
we're on the side of the world not getting extinguished like a candle.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fair, but I mean, like, as people who know things or... okay. I can ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, Clem would be on the side of war stupid and sucks, just in general. There should be no one
True,
participating.
though I did help a lot with war stuff in my youth.
Which is partly why, yeah.
But so yeah, I think that the other things that would be relevant to us, and depending on where you fell with this, like the characters and the people would generally be anti-Goholnian, because any indication you've given us, Andy, is very much that Goholnia has started the wars. This is Goholnia is going and invading places.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unpause.
Cool.
Why would they want to do that? Like, that's dumb. Goliaths are independent. Why would they tie themselves to Goholians, who are also assholes? I know that's like the word of the day, but they are.
I don't exactly know what he's offering. I simply know his request. But again, having a chief that would be a voice of reason would be excellent in a matter like this.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry. I know I'm not really supposed to be inserting myself here constantly, but just I do. So you said that Stormbringer, if she were chief, wouldn't have to be here, but then you also just said it would be great to have a chief who's a voice of reason in these kinds of times. How would she be able to be the voice of reason when she's not here?
We have ways of communicating with our chief across great distances.
Do you got magics?
Often there's
magics.
Often they carry a box with them that is able to receive messages.
A puzzle box?
It is a puzzle box, yes. Some of the elders know bits and pieces of the puzzle to teach it to new chiefs if we need to.
Cherry's just like now smacking his head against the bench that he's sitting next to, curled up next to the fire. Get it? There are multiple avenues to accomplish our goals. God help us all.
I don't want you all to go fight for Goholnia because they're kind of dicks, and there's no reason to get involved in that. But I don't think that Elder Pain Whisperer or any of the other elders who are in favor of that would listen to me, even if I was chief. And you just said the elders mostly run things. So, again, sell this to me, Brain Crusher.
Yeah, but they have to listen to the chief as well. It's look, no one wanted Dawn Protector either as chieftain. She was young, too young perhaps. She was inexperienced. We thought she would get us into trouble, and she spent all of her time gallivanting around the world. We deal with what we need to, certainly. But if you don't want to, perhaps there's other ways around this.
So just question real quick. No reason whatsoever. But just in those other ways, not becoming chief, sentence of death in the morning, that part?
Yeah.
But just generally, the question is, if, that was to happen, and again, absolutely no reasons for this, you don't need to think into this question, are there sections of town that you would be happier if they were not actively very on fire? Think on it. You can draw me a map.
Okay, I'll think on it. Yes. Odd. The door swings open.
This can be nothing but good.
As you sort of turn to look at the door, Charity, you are just engulfed in someone squeezing you. It's all you can sense is fur pressed up really tight against your face. It's kind of a purplish fur.
Boundaries, bubble, 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 bubble.
I'm so happy you guys came here. So, I'm gonna make everyone curry. That sounds good, right? Curry.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Let's make curry.
Who is this?
Hey,
This
buddy.
is one of the furbolgs from the caravan.
No.
Balin. This is the one that lost his mate to the Oni.
The one who saw her. wait, Stormbringer rolled a critical hit on a perception check and saw kind of what seemed to be maybe the spirit of his partner rising up into the night sky.
Indeed.
That's
Firbolg.
that's great. I'm so happy he's back. Oh.
Yeah, everyone else sees this. Charity, you're still being kind of crushed a little bit by this
Everything
person
is necessary.
who's just kind of swinging you around now. How is everyone? Hey, Hikari, right? You didn't turn out to be the Oni.
No, I didn't.
What do you know? I kind of thought.
Hilarious.
I was pretty sure you killed my wife.
Yeah.
All right, Hurry.
Help me.
And then he'll put you down, Charity, and he'll start to immediately walk behind the bar. And this seems like something that the bartender is used to, because he sort of just lets Balin do whatever he needs to do. Seems like you know Balin, the Firbolg of our village. He got here just a few weeks ago, hasn't left.
Yep, we're acquainted.
Balin, how were things since you left the caravan?
Oh, not great. Yeah, kind of bad, kind of real bad.
Oh
Curry.
no!
What's been happening?
Oh, we lost a few more people. Although Tellywood managed to trade with the Goliaths here, and actually she took off only a few days ago. Did you see her on the road?
No, we didn't really take the road.
Oh, interesting. Well,
Tellywood was here. Did she have anything interesting to trade, to bring? Is there anything new and interesting that I might like?
She traded for metal that we had mined up from the mountains. So, yeah, I think the goods store has got a lot of new stuff from Tellywood now.
Okay, good to know.
So,
an Elder Brain Crusher. Not to belabor the point, just checking in on the death and killing and leader thing.
Look, okay, I'm definitely not consenting to the death and killing part of that, but jury's still out on the leader part of that also, because I just don't think it would go over real big.
Charity's gonna walk over to one of the walls of this and just sort of be looking at the wood. So, do you use a pine for your structures?
Some. It's a lot of mud and pine on the corners for strength.
The corners will smell nice.
Why do you ask?
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I will inform the elders of my decision to at least sponsor you as champion. If you do not want it, that is fine. I would not ask anyone else.
Please hold. Craig dead.
Who did?
Craig.
Craig dead. Craig, you almost made it. You sultry bitch.
Now recording.
Oh, thanks for doing your job, Craig.
Hi, Craig.
Okay, proceed. Sorry.
You all good? Yes, so I'll just go back a tiny bit. Elder Brain Crusher says, I will absolutely inform the elders of my choice to sponsor you. If you want it, great.
Now
Hello?
Oh, Craig.
That's the first time that's happened, isn't it? That's wild.
Keep going, I guess. Craig is in and apparently recording maybe multiple times.
I guess we're good. All good.
Now
Right.
recording. Now and always recording. For all infinity, I am Craig 2000.
So Elder Braincrusher says that she will inform the elders of her choice that you are her champion. You don't. This doesn't lock you into anything. It just means she's letting them know that you're a contestant, and then she'll exit for now. About this time, Snow Drowner also pops down.
Snow Drowner?
I'm sorry, Sky Drowner.
Okay.
And this was your friend, Stormbringer, from your childhood. She'll pop in and just kind of make sure everyone's okay, and she just seems to be hanging around. There we go.
As a quick out of character note or just a general catch up, this is one of the Furbolgs who was in the caravan.
Yes.
When we had a conversation with what was his name? Total asshole, slept with Hikari, died a grisly death.
Galir?
Galure.
Right.
The guy that I hit in the crotch with
Yep.
the hilt of my sword and rolled a nat 20, yeah.
He mentioned something to us at some point when he was either friendlier with us or getting choked out. I think it was the latter. About he was trying to stop the Furbolgs from arriving.
Yes.
Again, we didn't really follow up on the details of that before the aforementioned grisly death, which in retrospect was a little bit on all of us. That's one that Charity's willing to have on the family's slate.
Yeah.
But I was just making sure that I remembered that correctly, that at some point when we were talking to him, they were trying to stop them from arriving someplace where they were going.
I forgot that was about the Furbolgs specifically. I remember them saying that their mission was to stop a wagon or something from arriving in I forget the town. But yeah, did he say that it was about the Furbolgs specifically?
Yeah, he specifically identified the Furbolgs.
Was it Wistamere or the town where
Malmond, I believe.
Malmond?
Fuck that place.
What's the town where the stable master was?
Wistamere.
That was Wisdom. Yeah.
Also, fuck that place.
Come to think of it, now that you're thinking back to Wistamere, that guy who was at the bar who sort of challenged you a little bit as you were leaving town now starts to look a little familiar.
Oh, fuck me running.
Was that Bonaventura?
Sir Benaventura.
Oh, wow.
Sir
nice. We've seen him before.
Tried to steal his horse.
Yep.
I like that.
Anywho,
it's totally plausible that we would kind of not remember him because it's some random dude bro in plate mail.
Indeed.
It is significantly less likely that anyone would not remember our particular group. This seems to be a specialty of ours, like in Saltmarsh. There's no way anyone will ever not remember having seen our group.
Right. Yeah.
Lena just posted great notes in the Discord chat.
Oh, yeah.
Lena, do you want to read that for the podcast? Or
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wrote things down phonetically, so they're not spelled right, and they might not be said the same as they were said before either. But the thing with Galur that you're remembering is, I have down, Galur has to keep the Furbolgs from getting somewhere. That's what the chess people were talking about, although it's hella unclear what so far. Keep them from getting to Pursbury because the wagon has something in it that will do something bad if it gets to Pursbury. Galur's father told him to keep them from getting to Pursbury, and his father is a noble named Alodwine, and Federo, he's a noble who takes great pains to remain secretive. The people in the chest are part of a secret order in Federo to help him and his father. And the thing that the Furbolgs will do / have is bad for the father, not necessarily bad for everyone. So it's something to do with a town named Pursbury, I guess.
Wait, we haven't been to Pursbury? Because
I don't think we've
that's a
ever-
great opportunity for a Pursbury Doughboy joke.
Right?
Anyway.
Yeah, so I don't know what that was. And I guess maybe they didn't make it there since he's here. And, a bunch of people died. So.
Well, there were 2 other Furbolg as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so sorry. I just wanted to take that pause because I thought I remembered
yeah.
that was a thing, but I was like, I don't even know if Charity's going to do anything with that, but before I started to, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. Right on.
Okay. Are we unpausing?
Sure.
Hey, Skydrowner.
Hi. Yeah.
Have you been in the, I don't know, year that I've been gone? It hasn't actually been that long.
Not bad. We have a place in the Battle family housing that me and my brother are sharing at the moment, but yeah, not much has changed. Except
Yeah.
you seem to have changed quite a lot.
I think I'm the same as I always was. I'm just good with being the same as I always was now.
Yeah, but there's not a fear in your eyes.
I'm not scared of anything.
I never said you were.
How have things been with the town, though? Not town, the tribe. How have things been with the tribe? Has everything been going good while I've been gone?
Well, besides the giant attack, that killed many good warriors, but the snowberry harvest is excellent. We were able to trade a bunch of minerals from the mountain. I don't think the mountain will wake up this year again, so that's good. Other than that, it's been the normal hunting and scouting and keeping our ears out for you, under order of Dawn Protector.
Yeah. So it's been just kind of business as usual with Dawn Protector, and everything's been good. She's a good chief, you'd say. You'd vote for her if this was democracy.
Well, not exactly. Dawn Protector was essentially singularly focused on finding out about you, and a lot of our treaties with other tribes have lapsed. I'd say that puts us a little more isolated than normal. So not great, no.
Oh. Is that why people have been listening to that asshole in shiny armor?
I don't know why. He's an outsider. I wouldn't worry about him. It's like listening to the Furbolg or listening to the one with horns or something. We're not gonna.
Horns. The one with horns in the room?
Yes.
Technically, there's no one in the room with horns.
The one, at least. Sorry, you were turned sideways.
Speaking of listening to, or at least answering some friendly questions from the one with horns, just a note, I might worry a little bit about Sir Bonnaroo. Might register a little bit of concern what with the whole machinations that he's going with. But also just 2 questions, because I'm really, really interested in this beautiful place. One, you mentioned the mountain waking up. Could you maybe share what that's all about?
Oh, the mountain. It feeds some of the hot springs of the river. But it also rumbles. We get boulders crashing down into town every once in a while. Um, Lately, it feels like there's been more activity. We've seen more steam, I believe, rising from the mountain at times, but um, it's like something's inside of it. Uh, and we say waking up, but
Yeah, it's called magma.
Or fire hydras?
well, I don't know what any of those are, um, but it could be a vicious magma with large, hot teeth. I don't know. Could be fun.
Yeah, so also, lovely village you have here, and just a fun sort of just point of interest question, because it seems like you know a lot about here. If you were to pick the place where ranged projectiles would have the most coverage of the key points of the town, where would you say that was?
It's a very odd but specific strategic question. I would suppose the cliff. So there's half of the town is kind of on a cliff overlooking the other half of town. I suppose up there would be a good vantage point.
Thank you. I like finding out these sort of little fun facts about the places that I visit and get condemned to death in.
Oh, that's
Smooth.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you.
No, thank you.
The door opens again.
Oh God.
Another Goliath comes in, and this one is Snowdown, the one that you had met on the side of the road who wasn't speaking, and you brought him back to town. And he kind of comes in and looks a little sheepish, and he shuts the door, and he sort of looks over at you, Stormbringer, and says, "I just wanted you to know that another elder sponsored me to be a contender for champion. Nothing against you. I think you'll do fine. They just saw something, I guess, in me that I'm sorry. I just wanted you to hear it from me, so you aren't surprised. Yeah. That's all. If you're gonna fight tonight, see you tonight. Other than that, goodbye, all."
Which elder? Who sponsored you?
Elder Pain Whisperer.
This guy.
Hey, Snowdown, did you
Yeah.
did you get your horse back?
I did, yeah. Thanks.
Of course.
yeah.
Thank you for letting us take him in our little field trip to the gates of Thankheim.
Of course, it saved our chief. That's I would give more if I could.
Yeah, your horse and I got along real well. He was a good horse.
That's good.
I sang a little song to him when I first met him, and then we got along like gangbusters. So just tell him I'll miss him, and not really following the politics of the challenges and the fighting and the death stuff challenges here. But good luck, I guess, or good luck, bad luck. Who are we rooting for? What's happening? Stormbringer, have you decided what you're doing?
No.
All right. No pressure. Anyway, can I just pay you gold, bartender, to do this messaging stuff?
That's fine. Hey, he can go and pay me.
All right.
Things are as they are.
What did you just say?
Things are as they are.
Things are a horror?
No, things are as they are.
Oh, things are as they are, yeah. Que sera, sera. You know what I mean?
I think you mean
Que sera.
Speaking of unintelligible pearls of wisdom, Snowdown, just quick question for you. Your horse was so helpful to Burbage, and it had me thinking a lot about sort of transit and movement. What areas of town do you think would be particularly hampering defensive efforts if they were, say, all the way on fire?
Well, the stables, I suppose, would be bad if those are on fire. People couldn't grab horses and ride. Watchtower on the north side of town would hamper communication about where to go. I don't know. That's about all.
Oh, no, thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
Skydranner's like, doesn't he ask the greatest questions? It's really interesting questions.
He's like, as he's saying this, is just going to sort of like be like elbowing Burbage, like, pay attention to this.
Yeah. I hear it all. Something about stables. Gotcha. Yeah, good.
Did Snowdown leave?
He'll turn to leave if no one else is talking to him.
Message cantrip family?
He'll walk out the door then, yeah.
Just a second, I'll connect you to the party line. Ow.
Welcome
Ow.
to the family party line. This
Burbage,
is
that's
where
not
we
helping.
get together and have fun in the middle of tense situations. All right, let's get down.
Okay. So here's the plan. I just need a little time to think. But this is dumb, right? It's dumb that Dawn Protector's trying to scam me into this. And it's dumb that she wants to kill us. I thought she loved me. Anyway, that's
She's-
sad.
Just
but-
as a note, she's not trying to kill you. She's trying to use the thing that she knows you won't let happen to motivate you to take over the chief. It's manipulative, but she's not actually trying to kill us.
I don't know what thing.
You're not going to let her execute us.
Oh no, of course not.
So-
That's why here's the plan. I fight Dawn Protector and Snowdown. Maybe kill Snowdown, maybe not. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy, but Pain Whisperer is a dick. So we'll see. Not kill Dawn Protector. Definitely not kill her. I fight. I become chief. I get the puzzle box. They tell me how to open the puzzle box. I abdicate the throne. I leave with the puzzle box. They run themselves like they've always been doing because they don't need me. They don't need me and they don't like me. And none of them seem like they need me. Skydriner said they were doing good on their own. She said it was great. And the berry harvest was good.
She also told me the ideal position to rain down hellfire on them, so I'm not sure I would go with her, overall perceptions of the world as being the most accurate judge. God, this hurts so much.
Your allotted time on the family party
Burbage, I swear to
line
Christ,
has
I will slap you!
reached its limit. For more time on the family party line, please give 5 silver each to the nearest halfling.
More time.
All right, that counts.
Okay, so anyway, that's the plan. That's a good plan, right? Because we still get the box.
So,
And Dawn Protector doesn't have to be chief anymore. And none of us die, except maybe Snowdown and maybe Pain Whisperer. I don't know. He's not really part of the fighting, but...
Stormbringer,
Do I hear everything that Stormbringer is saying, or is she actually doing this in her head?
Such a good question.
No. I mean, I'm
That I don't know.
whispering for once at least, but it's not, quiet enough.
Okay. And the only other person in here is, the Furbolg, the bartender, and Skydrowner, and Clem. Who you
I'm actually using message cantrip.
Real quick, just Stormbringer, you would know that the trials that they're talking about, the first 2 rounds, if you can beat the others in the first 2 rounds of feats of strength here, there is no death at all. It only comes down to a fight to the death in the 3rd round to determine something if it's still undetermined.
Yeah, so there's no death at all in the first 2 rounds. I mean, there might be death because I'm kind of pissed off. But there doesn't have to be. And I shouldn't kill people without prior conversations. So this is that conversation about killing Snowdown and maybe Pain Whisperer. Possibly. I don't know.
Firm green light on Pain Whisperer. Snowdown seems nice enough.
Yeah, but he's I don't know. He's going along with dumb things. Anyway, so that's the plan. It's the plan to not...
So, question, vis-a-vis the immediate abdication, is Balin is the Furbolg's name?
Yes.
Balin, could you begin cooking very loudly?
Oh, sure can. Here I go. Curry.
And I just assume that the
Curry,
bartender and like Skydrowner are sort of closer to them, and I'm gonna pull us over into a corner so that this way it's easier for Clem to hear. Look,
Sure.
it seems to me that you becoming chief, finding out secrets of the box, very good. Not having us sentenced to death, very good. Because we all know that we're not dying here if they try to kill us. Immediate abdication of the throne creating power vacuum, perhaps less ideal, especially with weird Gaholnians skulking about. Maybe you could encourage them to find what they want to do, just like you found what you wanted to do.
But they just want to yell at me.
You could institute a rule that they need to find a way to govern themselves that they want to support them in the future, but they can't yell at you.
I don't know. We'll think about it. I'll think about it and we'll see, because I don't think they actually need me to govern them. They seem to govern themselves pretty well with Dawn Protector gone. Skydowner said it was great.
Again,
It's really good.
ambush positions just pointed out to me on a map, so I'm not sure I would follow the line of reasoning that you are, but I hear what you're saying. I'm just suggesting that, Stormbringer, you know that there are plenty of people who, as much as people can grow and change, may end up not wanting to, or may be afraid to, or may not have the strength that you do to change, to grow, and to find themselves. But that doesn't mean that they can't determine how they want to live their lives. Maybe they want to go back to their old chieftain, and realistically, it's surprising that you've had as few disasters in your tribe's history as you have, with electing people based on who can out-arm wrestle the others or out-murder the others. It's really just not an ideal system for... Anyway, leaving that aside.
Well, usually.
Again, I'm just real surprised by that, but maybe that's what they want to stick with. And maybe you can give them the option to do that, but maybe you give... It seems like there are at least some people, like Brain Crusher, who are open to finding new ways, or maybe want new ways. Maybe you can encourage them to find those, and then get the hell out of here so it's not your problem anymore.
I mean, maybe. I can try. But not if they yell at me.
Again, they seem real sticklers for rules, so we just make the first one that they can't yell at you.
Okay.
Hey, Clem. So while they're talking about all this and making plans about things that may or may not result in our execution by this Goliath tribe, maybe now would be a good time for you and me to look at that book of many things that you promised we could look at together. Maybe there could be something in that that could be helpful for us not to get killed.
Andy, I, as Rachel, don't know much about the Book of Many Things. Does this sound like a terrible idea?
The
I
knowledge
know
in the
it's
Book
a
of Many
deck of
Things,
many things, so I don't know how
Yeah, yeah.
related to
It's not-
that it is.
it's not like that. You're not going to actually, but it's like random knowledge that people sort of interpret into their current situation. It's never a book that's good to be sought after for like guidance or something like that. It's yeah.
But it's not like dangerous if I decided it was like, yeah,
Right.
sure, we can look at it. And...
You're not like going to draw the death card from the deck of many things and like, whoops, single combat now.
I just, they're talking about the potential of us getting executed, and I just think, maybe we could turn to that book for guidance,
I do know. So it's not really like a guidance type book, but we could maybe learn some things.
Guidance? Does someone need guidance? Also, realistically, if we're worried about the execution, get me another 2 Goliaths to walk in here, and I'm pretty sure I can have the fight wrapped up within like the first 15 seconds.
Yeah, but also like, so I don't want to die, but also trading with the Goliath tribes is kind of like my bread and butter. So if we could not maybe kill them all, I could stay living in the mountains pretty easily. Not need to make all new contacts, you know.
Quick question, just plus minuses, all the rest. Would your trade be helped or hindered by being the chief of a Goliath tribe?
Me being the chief?
Yeah.
I don't think that they allow gnomes to be the chiefs of Goliath tribes.
But they're
They
real
might.
keen on doing whatever the hell the chieftain says.
They might. Dawn Protector asked me earlier if I would be chief. I had to say no thank you, but I really got the impression that she really wanted me to be chief.
Did
At this, the door opens again, and you look expecting the next round of information from a Goliath. But gracing the doorway is Sur Beneventura.
Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't you last time.
Bubbly Petunia, how the fuck are you piece of human garbage?
That's a hell of a way to welcome someone to a warm fire.
Hi, Bonnaroo.
You are Stormbringer, yes?
No, he's Burbage.
No, you. Oh, what? You old
So good.
Yeah. I'm Stormbringer. What do you want?
Maybe we should have a chat, yes?
Okay.
Alone?
No.
Wise. That is a wise decision. You may make an excellent chief.
What do you want? And what do you think you have any say in who becomes chief?
I only want what's best for my people, which I'm sure you want the same. Let's maybe talk about how we can both achieve that. And let's wrap up there for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for enjoying this journey with us. What is Stormbringer going to do? Is Stormbringer going to face her old love in a feats of strength? Is something wild and crazy going to happen? Is Charity going to have to torch the whole town? What? Tune in next time. We play Fates of Ryn, which will be not 2 Friday, like 3 Fridays from now, I think. As today was a little bit earlier in the week than we normally do. Join us next week for Tier, I believe, which Galway will be helming.
I think we should be back to regular programming the week of the 4th.
Cool. Okay, right on. Are we doing Salt Marsh on Wednesday?
I don't know yet.
Awesome. We don't know exactly about that either. Hey, come! Exclamation point Discord. Come join our Discord and find out all the last minute decisions, any sort of games we want to play, kind of last minute. We first announce everything on there. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. I'm so excited to see where this goes. We love you very, very much. Hang in there, everyone. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Love
Love
you
y'all.
all.